Mile wait to get past the damn green line.
Tell anyone who gets scared by a bear in the neighborhood, call Joe Murray.
I happen to trust Joe Murray.
First time I ever met Joe Murray was at a hoop.
All right, welcome in 98.5, the Sports Hub of Joe Murray. Welcome back from a Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully you all are back in the groove or you're coming home. I faced some of that morning traffic today and a little bit this afternoon as well, and we'll take you for the rest of the night here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Phone number 617-779-0985. What a weekend it was, everybody. I tried to stay away from the sports stuff, at least for 3 days, just to kind of reset. I still had plans for the Celtics to go further than they did, which did not happen. So I'm, still trying to get over that as we're watching these other games that are currently ongoing. But I had a really good chance to watch the Red Sox this weekend. It was more background noise. And this is my leadoff take, everybody. I'm not quitting on the Red Sox. I'm not telling you I'm officially done. I'm not basically saying the season's over. But this summer, don't bother. Don't put your energy into the Boston Red Sox. Don't do it. I was doing yard work all weekend long. Red Sox in a little tight battle. All right, well, they're hanging in there. And then, in situations, they just don't do what you should do to win games. And I was leaning towards it a week ago, saying that they don't know how to win. Then I wanted to blame the manager on, does he care to win? Now I'm starting to wonder if the organization cares about winning or developing their talent. And now when they bring up two of their big three, now the whole team is a bunch of young guys with Alex Bregman hurt. That's all they are. They have one professional hitter currently healthy at the moment, and it's Rafael Devers. They're 2-3, some of the best in baseball. Devers, Bregman. Bregman's down. What do? You bring up Marcelo Mayer. You put him at third base. I've been saying for weeks now the Red Sox are always looking ahead. They're always looking about what comes next or the next people that are coming up. Now they're here. They're here. Ceddanne Rafaela, last year, played him everywhere. He had his struggles at the plate. And this year, what did they want to do? They wanted to put him in one spot so he could focus and develop. He's been okay. He's in a little bit of a slump right now. But you know what? Growing pains. He's learning. He gets hot. He gets cold. This is what happens for a player like him. But when it comes to Christian Campbell, who they make the opening day second baseman, Then when they need someone to play somewhere else, sometimes they pull Rafaela out of center, and then they put Campbell in center, and now they're working him out at first base. And here comes Marcelo Mayer now, who's a shortstop, right? At least I was told he was a shortstop. He's been playing second base. Now he's playing third. These guys are here. They're here now, and they're struggling. Jarren Duran's been pretty consistent, I would say. Sometimes I have higher expectations of him, but overall, I feel like he's been consistent. Wilyer Abreu had that hot start. He came down a bit, but for the most part, I think I know what he is. I know what he is. I know they still don't have a first baseman. I know that Trevor Story stinks. I don't know who's going to play second and third all the time. They're not ready. We were fooled into believing that the team wanted to be serious about playing baseball in October. They spent the money this year. They brought in some pretty good pieces. They really did. And all the new pieces have excelled. All of them have excelled. And I do want to get into Crochet in a little bit, who's excelled as a newcomer, where Bregman has excelled as a newcomer, or how about Walker Buehler excelled? Chapman's been good out of the bullpen. They've had Justin Wilson out of the bullpen. And how about Narvaez as a catcher? Where would they be without him with Connor Wong? All the newbies have done very well. It's everybody else that's either been here or new players. I thought it would be exciting watching Christian Campbell, Ceddanne Rafaela, and now Marcelo Mayer every night. And there were times where I've screamed for that. Just go with the young kids. If you're going to suck, at least develop. I don't know if the guys can develop. I don't know if they can help save the Red Sox from themselves. The Red Sox are below 500 again through 56 games. Here they are, a middling baseball team. So it's not that they don't know how to win, because they don't. It's not that they don't want to win, because I think they do want to win games. Their manager definitely has been involved in at least, and I'm going to use the word handful, like a Joe Murray size handful of losses this year. I think he's managing the personalities, the system, the players, and everything else besides managing games and winning. So, this is why I told you, I'm not telling you not to watch anymore. But this summer, don't put your energy into the Red Sox. Don't. I'd like to watch the young players come up. I would. I know everybody's screaming for Roman Anthony right now. But why? With this group, they're young everywhere on the field. Everywhere. They're having their growing pains, and they're not developed. All the veterans, I'm out. Out. But at this point, these young kids aren't ready. And you know what? Roman Anthony, I bet you they're scared. He continues to kill it in the minor leagues. I don't think Roman Anthony can save the Red Sox from themselves. And I think they're scared about that. But this summer, don't invest. Don't invest your energy. They're a middling team. You want those middling team numbers? You would think 22, 23, 24, those years, you would think in your brain, in your mind's eye, if I told you the 2025 Red Sox are worse than the 22, 23, and 24 team through 56 games, would you believe me? Because it's true. The 2022 Red Sox through 56 games were at 29 and 27. The 2023 Red Sox were 29 and 27. And the 2024 Red Sox were 28 and 28. The 2025 Red Sox are 27 and 29. They're worse than what they've been, and the expectations were higher than ever. People were betting on the Red Sox to win the AL East, go to the World Series. They can't even win a homestand against the Baltimore Orioles, who I will remind you, waited for years for their prospects to come up and save the Baltimore Orioles. And how has that worked out for them? They just fired their manager, but they beat the Red Sox this weekend, or at least split a series. So be careful what you wish for when it becomes to these young prospects saving your franchise. It didn't happen in Baltimore, and I'm not sure if Roman Anthony and the others can save the Red Sox from themselves. We'll start it off there at 617-779-0985. I watched these games. It was horrible. Oh, they can't hit after the fifth inning. It's terrible. Oh. It's. I don't want to invest my time or any energy. This is why I'm telling you now. Save yourself. They're worse now than the previous 3 years. We'll get into Garrett Crochet and how things have gone for him. Oh, and Marcelo Mayer had a nice weekend. We're going to know all that coming up here on the other side. I'm Joe Murray. We're here until 11 o'clock tonight. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
has afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Promise of kind of like a blueprint for what you guys need to be doing in order to get through this.
We're still lost. I mean, I don't really care. I don't really care about promise, and we lost. Yeah, it's frustrating. Tired of losing close games. We just need to figure it out and win some games, bottom line.
Yeah, particularly, when Garrett is throwing like that, does that amplify the frustration?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the best pitchers in the game. We feel like every time he goes on the mound, it's a great thing for us. Such a competitor. Everyone loves him. It's just disappointing that we can't come through from. We just got to figure it out. Like you said, there's some good at-bats here and there, and then, but we're just not getting the job done. It's not for lack of effort or, work ethic, game planning. It's just, we're not doing it. We suck right now.
That's a guy that only hits against lefties, right? Let's just Rob Ruffschneider, everybody, who we all like, has been a very good pinch hitter, can mash left-handed pitching. Like, that's his job. He is a specialist. A specialist on the team has to be the one to tell it like it is right now. Because he knows they suck, and he's sick of it. He's sick. That's frustration right there. How come no one else feels that way? You know what it is? Because he's a ball player. He's a veteran ball player.
He's a veteran ball player, Joe. And also, as you said, like he's sort of like a specialist. So if there isn't a righty starting, he has to sit there and watch this crap just like the rest of us.
Yes,
he has to consume the Red Sox. He's got great seats. Don't get me wrong. All the bubble gum, all the candy, sunflower seeds. He's got all that stuff. But ultimately, and guess what? You can shut the TV off if you don't like the game. I can go out and do anything else if I don't like the game. Intern Trey, you can go. You don't have to watch the Red Sox.
That's right.
Rob Refsnyder has to sit there and watch this team night after night after night. And it's even worse because there's going to be a lot of time where he's not doing anything until the 8th inning.
Can I tell you that he's probably watching the manager too?
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he's like, man, I could get up there and bunt those guys over right now. They're not going to do it. They're not going to do it. And again, I'm sorry I said the word bunt. Like I said, we can't say that anymore in baseball.
It's small ball now. It's small ball.
Small ball. When your catcher sucks. The other catcher. The guy in the Mookie Betts trade. Remember him? Yeah, him. Sucks. He's awful. He's awful. Somebody wrote something funny in chat that I think kind of sums up my opening take is don't invest your energy into the team. Don't be upset. Don't worry about who could they get to help the team at first base. Don't worry about what the score is while you're at a cookout or if you're at a wedding this summer. Don't worry about the score. Just find out later in the night. Don't invest your energy. Don't. The team's under 500. And this is what they are. And they're almost happy with it in a sense because they're still in the race. And wait till Bregman comes back and maybe they'll make a move at the deadline. Or Roman Anthony, who has 8 home runs in the minors, is right around the corner. They've been telling us for years about this stuff. And I'm out. I'm not investing my energy. I'm not doing it. I watched some of the Pee Wee Herman documentary instead of the Red Sox this weekend, which I'll get into later. I just can't put my energy into it because it's not about winning. It's about who's coming up next and what can the social media team do and who's going to wear the Wally head after. Oh, is there going to be a cart this time? I just think back to the walk-off by Devers like a week ago. They won that game. It was a great moment. And they followed it up with a loss. And in this weekend, they've had double headers. They brought out Marcelo Mayer, who we'll get to in a minute here. They did all these things. And they're worse. I can't invest in them. Now, someone wrote in chat, well, Joe, it sounds like you're saying that you're not quitting on the Red Sox, but you're also not quitting on the Red Sox. You're right. I will not invest in them. Energy-wise. I'm not going to go crazy after a loss and do a live video and say, why is this team stuck? Not doing it. Not doing it. Now, the fire Cora stuff, I don't think the Red Sox have the balls to do it. I almost wonder if they want a guy in that locker room that can talk to the players or know how they feel or set the expectation for each player. Hey, you're going to play 4 days this week. We get the off day, so we're going to give you the off day here, so you have 2 days in a row, blah, blah, blah. Like, that's him now. He is now massaging the player, setting the expectation, letting them know about their day off. Maybe when a pitcher comes up, they want to use somebody else, and they're just having those conversations. And when it comes to Marcelo Mayer, who's now playing third base when he's a shortstop, but has been playing second base all around, like, what's the deal there? He is just massaging the ego. But, don't ask. See, people want to get on Rafael Devers for this one. If you want to get in on it, on him being a teammate, go ahead. Go ahead. But you are asking him to do something differently that you've already told him to do. And I get it. There are people who do this in their everyday jobs. Like, I get it. But now Cora doesn't even want to talk to him about it. So last week when they asked about other third basemen, Cora's name not mentioned once. Oh, Connor Wong can play. Did you hear that? The guy who can't hit, who's 0 for like his last 20. The other thing that again, I'm trying not to invest in. Don't have the energy to invest in the Red Sox. But here I am starting the show with it because at Memorial Day, right? This is the checkpoint. Memorial Day, checkpoint. They're not a playoff team. They're not a playoff team. Their young players are struggling. Campbell is struggling. I think Rafaela is struggling. Trevor Story has never done well. The bullpen is completely used. The starters haven't been able to go long distances. I don't know what they have in the minors for pitching, by the way. It's the manager's awful. It's awful. The communication's not great. And again, I'm different here. I'm different on the Rafael Devers thing. Do I think he looks like a bad teammate? Yes. I'm Team Devers on this one. The manager won't talk to him because he knows. He knows. And the communication was bad a long time ago. And you know what else he knows? They bet on the wrong horse. I know Alex Bregman got hurt. He's going to be out a bit. The injury that he has is something he had a couple of years ago that kept him out 56 games. They bet on the wrong horse, Ryan Garvin. They went with Bregman. They sold out. They spent. They wanted to pretend that they were serious. And so it meddled with Rafael Devers. I'm Team Devers.
I am too.
Is he a bad teammate for publicly doing it? Absolutely. But with this team, don't you have to think about yourself? With this team, what about this team makes any of those players want to go to bat for the team?
It's not even so much of thinking about yourself. I think in the interest of Rafael, like if I'm Rafael Devers, like I probably am very aware I'm not a great third baseman. I am barely league average, and I take this stuff personally. But the idea, I can't remember who I was having this conversation with, but Joe, if I came to you and said, listen, we're going to, for your job, we're going to give you the same amount of money, but you're going to do half the work. You're actually even
I'm
less
going to do half the work.
Less than half.
Same money?
Yes, same money. Absolutely. Joe Murray in. Most people would be. Most people would absolutely go, I don't got to grab my glove. I just can sit here and eat candy. And,
yeah, but I'm a competitor.
Right.
I want to cut audio, and I want to grab segments, and I want to post to social media.
Right, but what's best for the Sports Hub right now is that you just do this one thing. You just talk. You don't have to do anything else. You're going to, again, same amount of money. You can show up at the same time, all that stuff, same perks. You get the nice parking space, everything, valet. We'll take care of you, Joe. But we have a guy. He's friends with the manager. He kind of knows him pretty well.
Okay.
And we're thinking, just some precursory talk, but we're thinking about bringing him in. Nothing's official right now. We still got some time before your show. And that's kind of what they did with Rafael Devers. So to also be Team Devers on this, I like that. I don't like how he approached it with his I play third in front of the media, even though it was great content.
I can't play all 9 positions.
But I also like the fact that he is trying to take some pride in who he is as a competitor and as a baseball player. I just said this to Jay Stu before he left, by the way. Out of everybody on the Red Sox right now, Rafael Devers is like the one guy outside of Garrett Crochet that I am not jumping all over. I hear a lot of people, why isn't he playing first? Why isn't he playing third? He's the only guy that's hitting. As far as I'm concerned, Rafi, do whatever you want to do, man, because you're never going to get a pitch to hit because we got nobody behind you. Just keep doing your thing. Out of everybody, out of the 1 through 9 in the everyday lineup, he's the one guy I'm not coming down on right
He's
now.
like the only, it's sad, but he's the only professional.
He's the only guy doing his job. Oh, and he's such a bad professional.
I know. Think about that. He's the best. And
That's troubling.
Not to get on. A lot of these young guys are here because they probably seem like they're ready, right? Like they've done well in the minors and they're deserving of some playing time. But like when you look at the lineup and the roster of these guys tonight, like you're going to see Christian Campbell, you're going to see Marcelo Mayer in there, like Wilyer Abreu, Jaron Duran, Ceddanne Rafaela, like they're all young guys. Like they're going to have some growing pains. I don't think the Red Sox can afford the growing pains. And I think it's going to hurt their prospects, to be honest with you, because I don't think the manager has the relationship. I'm trying to find the right word, like the symmetry, the whatever. I don't think he has that relationship with the young players. I think he hates young players. That's my opinion. I know he's worked with Campbell. I know they wanted Campbell to be the second baseman. I thought they did a good job having him ready to go on opening day. But I just feel like the relationship for him isn't necessarily with the young players.
I think it's more like, I'm not saying it's an inability or like it's just not wanting to teach like the fundamentals of, hey, you're in the show now. Roman Anthony, you're a professional baseball player, Marcelo Mayer, and there's a lot of stuff that comes with it. I think the groups that he's had the most success with have had a lot of veterans on it, and I think it's kind of easier to just go, okay, you know what? I'm going to let the clubhouse police itself.
Yes.
If there are issues, we've got voices in here. Alex Cora, back on one of the old shows I used to work on, Alex Cora told us that he never wanted to be like the clubhouse guy.
Yeah.
He just, go into his office.
So what's he now then?
He's not the clubhouse guy.
And he blames it all on Breslow. Breslow's the one that has to come down all the time on the players.
Joe, it's the idea that the players should be the ones having the loudest voice. And the last 2 years, Cora has admitted, like I have to be that guy because we don't have Justin Turner anymore. We don't have Kike Hernandez or Kenley Jansen or JD Martinez or Xander Bogaerts or any of these other guys that have a lot of time up here or in the case of Bogaerts, like know this city. And if there's issues, if the team is ass dragging, which they have been, you can have those guys have the meeting instead of like, Alex Verdugo, come on down. You're going to try and lead this. Okay, that was a disaster because you can't show up on time, among other things. But this is what this team has turned into. And I think a big part of that is you don't have grown-ups in the room. And Alex Cora, whether you agree with it or not, has never wanted to be that guy as a manager, at least the last time I've talked to him.
All right. Well, Ryan Garvin's here. That's the voice of Ryan Garvin.
That's me.
Skaz is out tonight. Ryan and I did a lot of Celtics games together. And now Ryan is here tonight. Were you here over the holiday weekend?
I was here Sunday.
Oh, wow.
I was here Sunday with Mark Dondero. That's like my shift now.
Mark Dondero, huh?
I like working with Mark.
How's that going?
It's great. I got to get him to not eat, like, what does he eat? Almonds. He loves to eat almonds before he starts talking.
What?
He drives his voice out and he starts coughing.
Does he spit them up?
Yeah. I tell him every time, you're gonna choke. Stop eating dry, salty meals before you start.
Almonds?
Yeah.
Before the show.
Before a break or before a talk segment. Yeah, absolutely. And he's got to stop and clear his throat. And I go, you got to stop doing this to yourself. So it gives me opportunities to sit and be verbose as I just was.
I'm thinking of candy bars and songs and jingles right now. Is he an Almond Joy guy?
I think these are like
real almonds?
Tin can. Yeah.
Oh, in a tin can?
I think so. Or maybe plastic baggie? He might be a plastic baggie. I didn't see.
So he has a food of choice when he does the show.
He loves them. Loves them. He, as he put it, he's like, I can't just have one. I'm like, well, that's your problem.
Know what I like?
What do you like?
Gushers.
I feel like, Gushers are good, but also kind of like dry everything out a little bit.
Do I sound dry?
No, you don't. You sound very nice.
Sound fantastic, Ryan Garvin. I have people asking me, who the hell is on with me right now?
I get that.
So they are listening. The people are listening. That is Ryan Garvin, everybody, in for Skaz tonight. We have a new intern, Trey. He's back there helping us out on the YouTube as well. We'll be answering the phones, and we'll get to know him at some point as our new summer intern, so we'll have some fun with him. But we're here till 11 o'clock tonight. The Red Sox stuff's on the table, so feel free to talk about it. I did want to get into something on Jaylen Brown as well. We'll do all that. We're here until 11 o'clock. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox will take on the Brewers. Brew Crew. And the pitcher for tonight is Richard Fitz. He'll be on the mound for the Red Sox. They did make a trade today, and I'm not happy about it. Sean Newcomb traded to the A's for soda, cash. Knicks Pacers game 4 tonight. Pacers up 2-1. Edmonton has a 2-1 series lead on the Stars. They'll play game 4 tonight. Patriots OTAs tomorrow. And well, James Cook and Joey Bosa not at Bills Camp. Bosa for injury, Cook because he wants money. Headlines, they are brought to you by Valvoline is an oil change. Enjoy quick and convenient vehicle maintenance this month. Visit New England Oil Change Oil change at Valvoline is an oil change, the official oil change of busy people. I'm Joe Murray. Sports above Joe Murray. That was Garrett Crochet on the mound. I got a lot of numbers on him. What is this from? A movie? What is this?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler, Big Daddy.
There you
Boom.
go.
That was on this weekend. I watched, it was, again, while I was watching the Red Sox, there was an Adam Sandler marathon. It was Wedding Singer right into Big Daddy. And it was basically, what I loved was, there was a lot of relationship building in Wedding Singer, if you think about it. There's the guy from Grandma's Boy with Marsha Brady. Remember he gives the guy
Nick
from
Swartzen?
No, the guy from Grandma's Boy. All right, so Wedding Singer?
Yes, I
the guy who dresses as Michael Jackson with the glove.
Yes, last time, just to preface, last time I saw Wedding Singer was on an airplane.
Okay, never mind. I'll save the puns, but those two got together out of it too. So many people, the Wedding Singer brought people together. All right, never mind.
So you're watching an Adam Sandler marathon while the Red Sox
the Red Sox were on. One of the times there was a delay. They delayed the Red Sox game.
Oh, every game.
And no, they didn't delay it like a tarp. They pulled everybody off the field so they could put more dirt on it.
That was the Saturday game.
Yeah, Saturday, because I was during the day. And so I go, all right, well, Wedding Singer it is. Billy Idol. Man, that's 7 years bad luck. Nobody talks to Billy Idol like that. Anyways, I'm distracted. Garrett Crochet, everybody. He's the star pitcher for the team. Well, he's stubborn too, but we'll get into that in a minute. Garrett Crochet has allowed only 17 earned runs in 12 starts this year. Did you know the Red Sox have lost 6 of those games?
I knew that, yeah.
Oh, you did know that? Okay.
I did know that.
The Sox have played 23 games in the month of May. Did you know how many? Do you know how many wins they're starting? Oh, you saw my rundown, didn't you? Do you know how many wins it is?
In the month of May?
Yeah. How many wins do Red Sox starters?
Oh, starters. Ooh,
starters.
This one I don't know. I know Garrett Crochet does not have a lot, but starters in general, no, Joe. I do not know the answer to this.
2.
2 wins.
How many days? 31, right? A couple of days.
Yes.
So they've played 23. 23. What is 2 for 20? What is the math?
That would be 10%.
That Ryan Garvin math?
It's uneducated Connecticut School of Broadcasting.
That's 11. That's 11.5%.
Okay, yeah.
Good job.
I mean, 2 for 20, one for
that
10.
stinks. It stinks.
It's not good.
It's tied for lowest in Major League Baseball. They've faced the 4th fewest batters in the 6th inning. Whatever that means. Garrett Crochet has given up 2 earned runs or fewer in all 5 of his starts in the month of May. Do you know what the Red Sox record is in those games?
Are they 1?
So again, they 2 earned runs or fewer in 5 of his starts this month.
I want to say the Red Sox and Garrett Crochet starts in the month of May, I think, are 1-5.
1-4.
1-4. I was too hard on him. No.
He's had 12 starts this season. Do you know what the team's record is in his 12 starts?
I think they've only won like 2 of his games. No. They were fine with him early. They won 1 game. I think it was the Royals in May. So I'm going to say they've won 4 of his starts this year.
They're 6-6.
Oh my God! I don't know if this is true, but I heard Maz say it. So it's baseball related. So I'll take his side. But at this point, a year ago with the White Sox, Garrett Crochet had more wins than he has with the Red Sox this year. The Chicago White Sox. He must look around and go, I can't really tell if I've actually made my way out of it.
But he's got his money.
He's got a good amount of money.
He's got his money. He's going to throw his fastball on the first pitch no matter what because he's got his money.
First pitch of the game, I'm going to throw a fastball. Everybody knows that. I'm never not going to do that. The guy next game could clip me on a first pitch heater, and I'd be okay with that.
Oh, that's a winning attitude.
So just Joe me the money, maybe. Ronald Acuna.
Oh, yeah.
Lead off home run. Ooh. Something to think about. I'm sure the books will be all over that, too, but that's where my
or a hit. What? Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. He's telling you he's going to do it.
That is not winning baseball. Now, I know Rafael Devers will tell you that he can't play all 9 positions. But the fact that the starting pitcher who's 6-6 in 12 starts and has one win in the month of May. So I guess what I'm saying is I think it's the Red Sox problem.
First pitch of the game, I'm going to throw a fastball. Everybody knows that.
So, like, you suck as a team, but that's a sucky mentality. Oh, but you know what? He's 7th in the league in ERA, 2.07. And he's, this is wild, he is 3rd in Major League Baseball in WAR. Like, he's that important, yet they're 6-6.
He's the thing that I don't think anybody else in the American League East has right now, Joe. I mean, at least until they start winning, he is a genuine stopper. Like, Garrett Cole is that guy. Garrett Cole's not playing baseball right now. So, like, the Baltimore Orioles go through a stretch of like, wow, we're not going to win a game. Who do we have? Dean Kramer. Oh, great, we're screwed. Garrett Crochet, at least, you're like, all right, we have a great chance of winning this baseball game. Not a single team in the American League East has a guy like that, and they're just squandering every opportunity when he goes out there.
Every time. All right, there's the Mayer, the Crochet stuff. Marcelo Mayer had an interesting weekend. Did I tell you that Marcelo Mayer has more hits than Trevor Story in the month of May?
You didn't tell me that, but I can believe it.
It's fact. Did they find his car keys? I know that was a big story.
They're missing.
This weekend. Yeah.
Oh, is that a little haze in the rook?
Maybe. I don't know what happened there.
You'll find him taped to the ceiling of the showers with like 18 pounds of duct tape.
Well, the game that I watched, he went 0 for 4.
That was his first game.
He had 3 strikeouts, and then
that was definitely his first game.
It wasn't, so I went, oh, great. You're
going to fit in really well here, kid.
I am excited of the young players, but don't feed us that you want to be competitive in October then, if that's the case. They're not good enough. They're not good enough. It's like the old Celtics, the Bridgies, I loved watching Avery Bradley bust his ass out there every night and Isaiah Thomas do his thing and guys learn because it was
Crowder.
It was entertaining.
Jeff Green, yeah.
It was entertaining. But the expectations weren't there, right? They weren't there. There were expectations this year. Now they have so many young players. They're having growing pains. They can't be competitive and play the young players at the same time because their veterans suck.
What do you say to the people that before the season wanted it both ways? They wanted this team to be competitive and had them, I'm not saying win a World Series, although people were saying that, but be better than a 500 team. But then also, Joe, call up all these young players. Like, I don't understand how you can have it both ways, where we're going to be a really competitive team and we're going to have 90 wins, but we'll also have 3 rookies.
Yeah, 3 rookies
every night.
Yeah,
if you want to bring everybody up, fine. But to me, you're also kind of waving the white flag on
this. Is what I mean about not investing. Don't invest your energy. There's too much going on. Nobody can control it. Nobody can manage it. There's too much, and winning isn't number one right now. Even to Garrett Crochet, who's going to throw the first pitch as a strike, and everybody knows it. By the way, Roman Anthony just hit a 417-foot home run in Worcester.
Again. So he started. There's going to be parents out there going, can we see how old this kid is? I think he needs to move up because he's way too old to be playing
you're
with
right,
kids.
But this is the question. Can he save them from themselves? No. They're trying. They're looking for a life raft. They need something to jump on because they're sinking. All right, I left people on hold. 617-779-0985. Mike's in the truck. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Joe. How's it going, bud?
How you doing, buddy?
All right. I was thinking the Red Sox are kind of like, I live out in the woods, so you don't really get it on the delivery, but they're kind of like your pizza place out here. You order a pizza, it takes an hour and a half. You wonder why it takes so long to get there. It's no good. Then you go stop in there, you get a steak and cheese, it's delicious. And the next time you get a steak and cheese delivery with a couple of pizzas, it shows up and your steak and cheese isn't there. It's just like the Red Sox. It's inconsistent, it's still fun, and I'd rather just have 30 packets of ketchup.
I love your analogy. Do you know that? I really understood it well. It felt it.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's like bad pizza, right? You don't want to eat pizza. You don't want to eat the carbs. If it's bad, you don't want to waste it, but you're hungry. Then you don't want to waste the pizza, so you eat it anyways, and then you're upset you ate it because it sucked, and then you ate it anyways because you were hungry.
Yeah, it's like the soup pizza at Foxwoods that you get from whatever they got down there.
Is it soupy?
I don't know.
I've never had it.
I don't know. Never had that.
No, I wanted my soup and pizza separate.
I like to go to Frank Pepe's at the other place. And if they're listening, shout out to Frank Pepe's, our good friends. We love pepperoni.
Good pizza.
You always, what's your favorite pizza, Ryan?
Well, as far as
just what's your favorite style of not style? What toppings?
Oh, pepperoni's so good.
Thank you.
Pepperoni's great.
Trey, what do you like, Trey? What's Trey like? What's his favorite?
He's a cheese guy.
Oh, just straight cheese,
which
huh?
is good because most pizza has cheese.
Okay.
What about Joe? What can you?
I'm a Roni, but I'll get creative if you want me to. No onions or any of that. None of that veggie stuff.
You don't want vegetables.
Out.
Say that for your soup
Just
and salad.
Meat, bacon, buffalo. Oh, there's a place hamburger. There's a place down the street that makes a chicken and waffle pizza.
Do you get like the sweet mixed in with it also? It's being the waffle.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty good.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's pretty good.
It's right down the street. Burnt edges.
I can see it in your eyes. It's amazing.
They're closed on Tuesdays. I know.
This is like the Cabots thing we talked about.
Yes. Why are they closed on certain days? Why are barbers closed on Mondays? Why is good pizza when you want it closed on Tuesdays? And never buy a roast beef after the weekend because the beef's been out all weekend.
Getting that old beef.
Nobody wants old beef.
No, you don't want old beef.
Justin, how you doing, bud?
Hey, Joe, how you doing?
Good, buddy.
I have a theory for you and Ryan. Why this team is the way it is, Joe. And, I spend a lot of energy because, I'm getting into the business myself. And I watch this team because they don't put the ball in play. They don't run the bases well. They don't do all the things that they should be doing. They don't play small ball. They don't do those things. And that's part of the reason they're struggling the way they are. And the record is what it is because they lack talent right now. I know Bregman's out, but that's not an excuse. This team needs to be better. Period.
Hey, Justin, what do you like? Do you like cornhole? Do you like horseshoes? What else will you watch besides the Red Sox this summer?
So I will. So what I'll do is I have the Major League Baseball package. So I'll put other games on if they're not doing well.
Oh, so you'll watch other teams then is what you'll do?
Yes, I will.
Who's a good team? Give me another team you like watching.
I like watching the Atlanta Braves.
Ooh, Ronald Acuna, right?
Yes, I do.
Did you see him the other night? First bat at bat?
Yes.
So
yes.
you like the Braves?
I will watch other teams because Joe, I can't invest my time into this team where they stink. I can't do it.
I can't. I know. It's like we want the young kids, but then we don't want the. Appreciate you, Justin. It's gonna be a tough summer for everybody.
I was thinking about adopting a new baseball team.
No.
Just something I can put my heart into.
Do you know who I'm rooting for?
Who are you rooting for?
The Vegas A's.
I like them. If they had pitching, they'd be a fun team to watch.
Sean Newcomb today. They get Sean Newcomb. Now they get that first soda change. The Red Sox traded Sean Newcomb.
Local boy.
For money. Basically, John Henry's going to pay for the soda machines. Like in Moneyball. You ever see Moneyball?
I have seen Moneyball.
They traded for Dave Justice and the soda machines. So that's what they did today. Oh, but did you see Liverpool won? I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
Yeah. So I think they have money. I think they do.
They got money for,
I think they got money.
Like maybe the Penguins need some help.
Oh, they do. They need a coach too. The Bruins do too. They're all battling. Yeah, I've been told though, nobody would turn down the Bruins job.
Very prestigious. Did you know it's an original 16, Joe?
Did you know that I'll let you know when people avoid? Oh boy, this is supposed to be a Red Sox topic. All right, we have to go to break because I'm late, so I have to go. We'll take a quick break. We'll get to top of the hour, and we'll get right into it. We're going to talk to Taylor Kyles later tonight, Patriots stuff, and Bobby Krivitsky, a little bit of Celtics later on in the show. We got In or Out 850, Musings 950. Full show. You're in chat. Join us. You're listening in the car. Go ahead, and if you are out on the pizza that we talked about, you're going to get it again. Remember that. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray.
Oilchange.com for 15% off an extra through oil change. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the official oil change of busy people.
You can stay up to date on
the sports up. Red Sox just about to get, or are underway, I guess. No score, second inning. And then you got a couple of games tonight. Game 4s, New York and the Pacers. And, of course, the Edmonton Oilers are in action against Dallas. And that hour headline would have been brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar essentials, vitamins, and proven ingredients. You'll listen to WBZ FM 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. I like that. Music's chill. You know?
We're getting all annoyed at the Red Sox. We gotta.
This is what I mean.
Bring it down a little bit.
Don't invest your energy.
It doesn't have to ruin your summer if you don't let it.
Thinking about like tiki torches and Polynesian drinks, Hawaiian shirts,
barbecue.
Ooh, no socks.
Like that first time you walk after the sun's kind of been baking the grass for a little bit. No joke there. And you step on it in your bare feet. It's a little hot, but then you kind of settle into it a little bit. You're like, all right, this is summertime.
I had my first fried clam of the season yesterday.
How was it?
Oh. Trey's like, dude, who are these guys right now? That's what we do here.
I had about 45 seconds as we were coming up from the parking garage in the elevator. Just go, all right, here's what the first half of the show is going to be like. Here's what the second half of the show is going to be like. I think the second half of the show has already started in the first half of the show.
I just can't put any more energy into the Red Sox. I could tell you that Garrett Crochet is this, and that, and Marcelo Mayer this, and that, and Rob Schneider's pissed, and Alex Cora stinks, and I could do it all day. Why invest? I yelled. I'm sorry. That's not me yelling, Trey. Just so you know, I'm just a large man, and my voice.
Here, it doesn't sound as bad when you're yelling over MF Doom.
That's right. MF Doom, I believe, friendly with our boy, Esoteric.
Might be. It's kind of. I haven't listened to Esoteric.
Do you know? Oh, yeah. Eso, yeah. Eso's a
similar kind of.
I think Eso's a fan of the show. I'm friendly with Eso.
I like the Esoteric.
I've hung out with him a few times. I one time saw him in the middle of the street, and I went, Eso! And he looked back at me, and he realized it was me.
You said, it's Joe.
That's literally what I did.
Rhymes.
That's what I did. Hey, the Patriots and OTAs, everybody. We're going to talk to Taylor Kyles coming up in a little bit from CLNS. Before we get there, I wanted to bring this up. We had Noah Dalzell on the show last week. And I'm friendly with the guys over at 741, which is the Jaylen Brown sneaker. They did a pop-up event this weekend. And they've been doing pop-ups. They have a new 741 shoe, a gray one that came out. And my buddy Sam runs one of their teams. So Noah went because they gave her shoes to try out. And she had a chance to talk to Jaylen Brown. And Jaylen Brown showed up at this pop-up event. A lot of people didn't think he was going to show himself. It was raining out. It was a bad day. Jaylen showed up with his grandfather and met every single person who showed up, talked to them, got a picture with him, talked about some of how he was upset from the offseason, talked about his knee and what he's, some of the things they're doing. But, that was an intimate moment with Jaylen Brown. And one of the big takeaways from the article is, for the first time in his 9-year NBA career, Jaylen Brown is leaning towards spending most of the offseason in Boston. Now, before we get into this, I think at times people try to put Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum against each other, And one of the easy things is Jaylen Brown's so invested in the city of Boston where Jason Tatum still loves St. Louis, right? He builds schools out there and does whatever. So at times it might look like one does more for the community than the other. I think they're both staying in Boston. I don't have a confirmation on the Jason Tatum part of it because he did have surgery, and I think he will be home a little bit more. I know he has a house in Newton, and he got the McDonald's on Soldiers Field Road. That love him. I don't know if you saw those.
Do they?
Oh, that
Big fans.
They should just have one of Joe. Hey, we love you, Joe Murray. I've been to that. How many times you've probably been to that Soldiers Field Road McDonald's? I used to work at the station over there.
Everybody has.
They should put our names up there too. Damn it! I'm kidding, Jason Tatum.
This standing order.
Kidding,
Tatum.
Jason. Quote from Noah Dalzell of this was Celtics blog. This year, for the first time, Brown is leaning towards spending the offseason in the city he's called home since he was 19. Quote, I'm in the community a lot, but I'm leaning toward being even more of the community. I'm just really trying to touch this community and be around, be available for the city of Boston. He hosted a bridge program at MIT this year. It was an educational leadership initiative for Black and Brown youth from grades 8 through 12. He spent the day there with students. He was with another kid from East Boston that mentioned the program changed his life. And he said they were probably the best 5 days of his life. But there was a lot to take away from there, so go check out Noah's article. But Jaylen Brown's going to be spending time in Boston, and I try to look at it in layers, right? He doesn't know if he's going to have surgery on the meniscus. It can heal on its own. They can cut it, and it's a short process. They did it with Robert Williams, if you remember, in the playoffs a few years ago.
Oh, that's right, yes.
So it's slightly torn. It can heal on its own. I don't know what they're going to do with that one. I don't know. I don't think he needs to start the season, but I'm sure competitively he wants to be the guy and see what can happen. Like he's an alpha leader. Like I'll give him all that. But the full story on the Jaylen Brown stuff, he did talk about his knee. But where I'm going with the whole Boston thing is today Shams is out there on whatever he was, McAfee.
It was Pat McAfee, yeah.
Everybody's on the table except for Jason Tatum.
So if we're going based on what Shams told the McAfee show, that would mean, from what he's heard, that Jaylen Brown would be available.
So Jaylen, for the first time in his career, wants to be a part of the community, more a part of the community. Just makes me think, like, is this the I want to stay in Boston? Ryan, this has happened before.
Yeah.
This in other sports, a lot of guys love the city of Boston and do a lot for the city, right? What happens? They get traded.
It becomes a math problem.
Nomar gets traded. I mean, his was a different scenario, but there are guys that do a lot for the community and still get traded.
I just mentioned Justin Turner in the last hour. Justin Turner did a lot for the community and wanted to stay here. Not the same star level, I understand, but was a guy who like, I think was almost like surprised at how much he enjoyed his time here, and his wife enjoyed it, and they wanted to be a part of this city going forward, and was basically told you might want to go find work elsewhere.
He's still considering off-season surgery. Partially torn meniscus in his right knee. The knee is in good place. That was what Brad Stevens said. Brown said he's got a lot of doctors he's going to get evaluated with. He see the potential for surgery versus no surgery, blah, blah, blah. Rest and recovery is what he's saying. I'm taking a step back from a long season mentally. There was a lot of stuff going on, he wrote at the end of that one. So, again, I'm trying to see, Ryan, I'm trying to not look into these words, but I'm one of these guys when I see certain words, the antenna.
You got to start making.
It's just the antenna starts going.
Boxes full of Pepe Sylvia. I get it.
Mentally, it was a lot of stuff going on. Well, what was it? What was going on, Jaylen? I know you got your shoe, you got your MIT stuff, you got a lot of stuff. You had the Stephen A. stuff. What mentally?
Inquisitive minds wonder.
What mentally was going on? Was it the philosophy?
Well, Jaylen Brown, and I don't know if his mind has changed in a year, but Jaylen Brown, when he was injured, I want to say it was last year, was kind of vocally critical on the amount of three-pointers that this team was taking.
Correct.
And I would wonder if this is what Jaylen is saying, that maybe he is finally going to see, I told you so. This is what I've been saying for a year now.
The game 6, he tapped out. He fouled out in 3 quarters. Now, he did everything he could early on in the game because nobody else could do anything.
He was great in game 5.
But what happened? He tapped out. Fouled out.
He was done.
He knew they were done. Tapped.
You could almost phrase it, Joe, like he knew their style of play was not going to win them the amount of games they needed.
He knew that their roster wasn't right. The front court couldn't do it. But I love when a player says he loves Boston and wants to do more for Boston and Boston. And then, the trade block happens. It's not a good look when the team does that.
Your brand new owners, who fans are already kind of leery of because they know they're probably going to come in here and start getting rid of guys.
This is what I mean by he's a smart guy.
He's a very smart guy.
This is smart. He wants to be here. Listen, I'm going to tell you this right now. The Celtics long term are better off with Tatum and Brown over anything else. Anything else, they're better off with Tatum and Brown. Stand by that. Anyways, we're going to talk to Taylor Kyles. He's from CLNS. He does football talk. Let's ask him about football. We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Cut your energy bills without sacrificing comfort. Upgrade your home with Bruin Remodeling and their energy-efficient windows, providing superior insulation and comfort. They offer free estimates with no obligation. Plus, when you tell them Big Jim sent you, they'll give you up to 20% off your project. Visit BruinRemodeling.com to schedule your in-home estimate.
Need space in a hurry? Order your storage container at eagleleasing.com or call 1-800-GET-EAGLE and we'll have it delivered on site like
Back here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Full show here until 11 o'clock tonight. Patriots OTAs will be open to the public tomorrow. We'll get a good sense of where the Pats are at. Let's bring in Taylor Kyles. He's from CLNS. He'll be at OTAs tomorrow, and he joins us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. What's going on tonight, bud?
I'm excited to be on, man. Thank you for having me again.
Well, thank you. Mike Yadlik and I go way back, so whenever I have Mike on, I beat him up. Like, I'm like, what do you think, Mike? Are you 8.5 wins? Are you on the over-under? And he's like, well, Joe, And so I always give him a hard time. I like you guys together, so I'm glad
I haven't eased up on him. Don't worry. He gets it on both sides.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
You know what? He's so likable. You know what I mean? That like then sometimes he battles back with me, and then the worst is when we talk about pizza. Because he likes to put lettuce. Oh. You ever see that lettuce pizza?
It's inhumane. It's inhumane, the things he puts on pizza. And I have a pretty high tolerance. Like, I'll put pineapple, but why are you putting a cold pizza on a cold salad on a warm pizza, Mike? What's the deal?
Out. I'm a very hard out on it. Well, I won't start with the Stephon Diggs boat stuff. We'll save that for another day. There was a lot of shaking going on, is all I can tell you there. But what I got this weekend was... Thomas Brown is somebody I wanted to ask you about. Obviously, I remember him from taking over with the Bears. This guy's beloved, right? Different offensive positions. He's been a head coach. Reported this week, this was somebody Mike Vrabel really wanted. What do you know about him, and what type of impact will he have in the Josh McDaniels offense?
Well, one thing I remember in rookie minicamp when he's working with like C.J. Dupree, who, by the way, is one of the highest paid Patriots rookies, along with Ethan Chisholm, undrafted rookies, since Jeff Demps back in 2012. Just a little fun fact to sneak in at the top. But Thomas Brown working with the tight end, so he's working with Dupree, he's working with G. Scott. His attention to detail really stands out. Like, this is a guy where if they did it the wrong way, he made sure they reset. He showed them what he wanted, kind of hands-on Vrabel style, and did it again. Kind of drill sergeant-esque. Like, you can tell this is a guy who knows his business. But at the same time, you can also tell there's a way that he kind of appeals to players, and they really were listening to him. But even more than that, I can see why Vrabel would pursue him, because the guy's track record is pretty crazy. Like, he was an assistant head coach under Sean McVay, originally was with running backs. The reason he actually moved him to tight ends in 2022 was because he wanted Thomas Brown to be able to understand the offense kind of on different angles, because the tight ends, they block, they pass, they catch passes, they pass block, they do a ton of different things. So he's got a really impressive resume, obviously interim head coach last year as well. And you can see that on the field where he commands that respect, but it's because you can see he's a very detailed teacher. I'm excited to see more of it tomorrow.
Do you think they wanted him instead of Josh McDaniels to be the offensive coordinator?
I don't think instead of. I think Josh McDaniels, like, his resume is pretty unmatched in the NFL, so I also know that he and Mike Vrabel kind of talked about potentially working together. He mentioned that, I think it was maybe when he spoke in like that Patriots video. So I don't think instead of, but obviously if Thomas Brown wasn't going to take a job somewhere else or somewhere that he thought was a good situation for him, and thought that being a passing game coordinator for the Patriots as well as a tight ends coach to kind of boost up his resume and work with some really bright minds was probably a really enticing opportunity. But yeah, again, I don't think instead of, because Josh McDaniels is like the gem, I think, of free agency when it came to coaches.
Oof. All right.
Other than Vrabel, of course.
I'll hold you to that one, because I still have question marks on McDaniels.
What are your question marks? I'm curious.
Let's be fair, Taylor. He's never been successful without Brady and or Belichick, ever.
I mean, that's as a head coach. As an offensive coordinator, he's done plenty without Brady.
That's not true. He was with the Rams and absolutely destroyed Sam Bradford as an offensive coordinator and got fired.
Okay, that's a crazy thing to bring up, because since then, what about the Cam Newton year when he completely changed his offense and it looked more like what Cam ran in Carolina?
Well, I'm just bringing up
one
facts.
of the best rushing offenses in the league.
I'm just bringing up a fact. He was awful and got fired.
I'm just saying that's an outlier, brother. I could bring up a lot more, but it's your show. I want you to drive the bus. I'm just saying he's got a resume.
Listen, there's nobody more. There's probably no offensive coordinator more probably polished or with the accolades than McDaniels in the league right now, right? Like looking around.
I mean, like Andy Reid, just in terms of like a play caller and an offensive mind, is obviously probably at the top. But Josh, yeah, when it comes to offensive coordinators, I don't know anybody who's got a better resume.
Oh, trust me, I want you to battle me on this. Trust me, that is why we got you here, bro.
Okay.
But what I'm saying though is, is it okay if the jury is still out on Josh McDaniels?
I mean, I think if you want to talk about anything since the Rams year, there's not a whole lot to critique in terms of him as an offensive mind. Like, even when he was with the Raiders, obviously did not do well as a head coach. But Devontae Adams was the best part of his offense, and Devontae Adams had the second best year of his entire career in a Josh McDaniels offense. They featured like 3 different quarterbacks, and the best one was Derek Carr, who's, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback, but he's not Tom Brady. He succeeded with Jacoby Brissett. He succeeded with Jimmy Garoppolo for a little while. And again, the Cam Newton year is one of the most fun offenses I've ever studied, because he went from obviously the Tom Brady and the under center and all that kind of stuff to really more of a shotgun attack that I think we'll actually see some of with Drake Maye to a certain degree, because I think Josh has wanted a mobile quarterback for a long time. And even Mac Jones, I think Mac Jones was a quarterback that really hindered what he could do, and he still made Mac Jones look good enough to make the Pro Bowl. And Mac Jones hasn't done that since, even with better supporting casts.
Now we got something to keep our eyes on all year now. Like, this is, me and you can now, we can do a weekly, hey, I was Josh McDaniels this week. Because
we'll check in.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I really do, because, listen, there's a lot of expectations for the Patriots, right? They should be better. They really invested in the defense. Like, the coaching staff, how many former head coaches do they have now, right? So I think all those things are really good, which should have expectations. I don't know if people were knocking on the door for Josh McDaniels this offseason. That's my only thing. And listen, this is what I did. This is why we have a show. I want the Patriots to be good. It's good for me. It's very good for me. But at the same time, you mentioned the Drake Maye thing. Mm-hmm. He's never had a quarterback with that experience, ever, with the ability of Drake Maye. Tim Tebow couldn't throw. But he's never had the ability like a Drake Maye. So that's why I wanted to ask my next question. What is your year 2 expectation of Drake Maye?
I think Drake Maye makes the Pro Bowl again, but I think he actually earns it. And I think he's someone that you talk about in the All-Pro conversation, only because what he was able to do with what his supporting cast, if you want to call it that, was, all credit to Alex Van Pelt for developing the kid. I hope he is never forgotten when Drake Maye, ascends to one of the top quarterbacks in the league, because Alex Van Pelt really did a pretty fantastic job supporting him with what he had at his disposal and the experience that he had. But Drake Maye had an offensive line full of backups and guys who didn't have experience. Obviously, the supporting cast fluctuated, and he didn't really have top-tier guys, even when people were healthy, and was still able to make them competitive and make them something that people wanted to watch the Patriots for on a weekly basis. And as someone who covered the team, there weren't a whole lot of reasons to get excited to watch the Patriots as much as I wanted to. And obviously, I think fans understand exactly why. The product wasn't very good. So not only is it that Drake Maye has all the talent in the world, but also the fact that what he was able to do cerebrally, where it was beating the blitz, holding on to the ball just a tick second longer in the pocket, or knowing it's better to take off rather than try to fit this ball into a tight window. And the fact that people were calling him, I know T.C. McCartney said he was the smartest guy in the building. So I don't think he's going to have any trouble with the Josh McDaniels offense. So that kind of pairing, I think he's going to, with a better offensive line that's got veterans that shouldn't just, kind of blow chunks just when they see a line stunt. And he's got a Mac Hollins and a Stephon Diggs who are added support in that wide receiver room that's got a lot of young guys. I think he'll have it worse than average supporting cast, and I think he's going to elevate that with also what, like you said, is a defense they invested a lot in, and that should be much better in 2025.
All right, talking about Taylor Kyle, CLNS, does a great job over there for the guys. You just mentioned Mac Hollins. He had his best year with Josh McDaniels, too, so I'm just backing you on that one. There's a position battle there, though, right? A wide receiver. If you had to choose, would you choose Kayshon Boutte or Kendrick Bourne?
Honestly, there's kind of a logjam at that Z receiver spot, I think, because you got Kendrick Bourne, but then if Mac Hollins and Stephon Diggs are healthy, those are two guys that you think probably are better at Z. Mac Hollins because he's a really good blocker and you want him closer to the core of the formation. And Stephon Diggs because he's not the guy he used to be where he's going to kill guys one-on-one. That's more where you hope Kyle Williams succeeds And I don't really think Kayshon Boutte's a great fit as that X receiver, but I also don't think that he's the most talented Z option either, where, again, the Z is the guy who's off the ball, use him in some more creative ways, and you want to feed him targets, kind of like a Julian Edelman. I just think there's younger, more explosive guys in the pecking order that you'd like to target, like a Jalen Polk if he's able to get healthy and capitalize on opportunities. Again, a Kyle Williams or a Demario Douglas even. I think he'll be used a little more at that Z spot as well under Josh McDaniels. Boutte, he's a really good blocker, and he did have some really good catches, but he's inconsistent, and he doesn't give you much after the catch. So if you're a possession receiver who's inconsistent deep, doesn't really separate, and doesn't get yards after the catch, I just don't really know how you fit into a receiver room with so much young talent and so many veterans that they've already invested money in.
All right, Taylor, tell me about this D-line, man. What's different? What's the new defense they're running this year? And I don't know. I mean, I've seen you and John Serenides out there doing some pass block work. You know what I mean? Like some good hands drills out there before. So I got to know, like, you got Christian Barmore on one side. Is it going to be Milton Williams? Is he going to play an end? Is he going to be somewhat of a nose tie? How are they going to run the front? What's it going to look like? And, you know, is the pass rush, the run stop going to be much better this year? It was bad at stopping the run last year.
Well, yeah, I think the run defense is going to look a lot better. One, I'm just going to really quickly mention Robert Spillane. He's not on the defensive line, but he was one of the best run defenders in football last year, and he's very instinctive in coverage, and he's a guy where he's going to make plays in pass defense, not just negate explosive plays, which is where you kind of see more of a Juwan Bentley, right? He gets deep, and no one's getting behind him, but he doesn't really have the range to attack the ball. That's where I think Spillane is an upgrade for one. But then on the defensive line, man, Christian Barmore and Milton Williams, I think you want them on the field together as much as possible on the interior because I think that's an elite duo, potentially one of the best in the league, if they're healthy, obviously, and if they're willing to take to some great coaching from Terrell Williams. Because, one, Milton Williams, they pay him all that money. It's because he used to be an elite run stopper, and he flashed as a pass rusher. Last year, conversely, he kind of took a huge step back as a run defender, but he was an elite pass rusher, like literally the best in terms of like obvious passing situations. Nobody was more efficient. So you got him, Christian Barmore, who was, I think, a guy who should have been considered for the Pro Bowl when he was healthy in 2023. I mean, those are two elite blue-chip talents you have on the interior. Keon White was also an elite interior rusher. He's probably going to be used on the edge more this year, and I think they've, again, got better coaching where he's going to be able to really maximize his talent. If he takes a step on the edge, complement him with Braden Swinson, the guy they drafted, who's going to be a big factor on pass rushing downs. Joshua Farmer, a rookie. I actually just broke down on Patriots CLNS. Go check it out, shameless plug. But he's kind of the embodiment of why this Patriots defensive line is different. Instead of like a Devon Godshot type or a Lawrence Guy where you occupy space and you just manhandle guys, he can do that to a degree, but he's also explosive where he can penetrate gaps. You can use him on line games, and he can kind of give you something as a pass rusher. So I think it's going to be more explosive. They're going to try to get behind the line of scrimmage and make plays that way, but they're also going to do a little bit of that gap eating as well. It's going to be versatile.
Oh, yeah. I actually looked that up. I saw you had that Josh Farmer piece out there, and I don't know if anybody watched Florida State last year, they weren't good on offense, and their defense was at times elite. And he was a big part of it. I believe he was really good at pass deflections, and I think he had a couple of block kicks. Anyways, I'm excited for him because he's not your typical. He's 6'3", 312, but he's not. He's more lengthy than, I guess, bulky is the word there. So I think he could actually be a nice little change if it works out. And again, I know these are college kids that we're projecting, but you just did a nice little breakdown on him, and I think that the fact he's lean could be another asset to that defensive line.
I hope so, man. And now they have depth because it's in so many years past, they've only really had run stoppers. They haven't had those pass rushing types who could really affect the quarterback or make plays in the backfield. Now they have their starters where you got Harold Landry, Christian Barmore, Milton Williams, Keon White. But, you know, Taylor Chason can do that too. Anthony Jennings can do that too. And they've got some guys on the interior, like you mentioned, Farmer, who can do that as well. So even Elijah Ponder, that's a name to watch. Undrafted free agent. They've got a lot of guys that actually they signed in undrafted free agency. I think as many as 5 or 6 could end up making the roster. And on the defense, he's definitely, I think, the crown jewel of that undrafted class.
All right, Taylor, I didn't even really ask you about OTAs, which are happening. But I got one Well, one more. Yeah, okay. All right, then. I'll open it up a little bit. I've been calling Mike Vrabel Michael Corleone. He's been whacking all the capos, right? All the captains are just gone. Jabril Peppers was a captain. He's no longer a captain. Still on the team. Do you think he'll be with the Patriots, and do they have another option at safety if they did move on from him?
I think that he on the field is absolutely a Vrabel player. Like, he's an alpha because he talks a lot and he's really fiery, but he backs it up with his play. Like, he wasn't healthy when he came back last year, and I think that was a big factor in why you didn't really hear from him and why he kind of fell off. But he's a really talented player, and even if he doesn't have the range that he used to, maybe just use him closer to the line of scrimmage. But as long as he's healthy and doing his thing and, you know, applying whatever principles Vrabel wants to the new defense, I think he'll be fine. But there's a lot of bodies at safety right now because you think on paper, okay, it's Jabril Peppers and it's Kyle Duggar. Those are your starters. But you've also got Craig Woodson, the first guy they drafted on defense, who I think could at least be the third safety. But I could also see him being maybe their top free safety option. He's got a lot of versatility, and they really like his ability to communicate. Where do you put those communicators, those Devin McCourty types? You put him in center field, and then you move him around based on the situation. But you've also got Marcus Epps, who was a captain for Josh McDaniels' Raiders for a little bit. Yep. He's another guy who works in center field. And, yeah, even actually we saw Jalen Hawkins and Dale Pettis were actually starting because I don't think Jabril Peppers and Kyle Duggar will full participants. And then, you know, the young guys usually have to earn their keep. So there's a lot of bodies at safety. It's not really easy to project. I think health and whatever they do in camp is ultimately going to dictate who wins those jobs.
I believe Hawkins and Wood played together at Cal, if I'm not mistaken.
They did, yeah. I think when Jalen Hawkins last year, they were former teammates.
Yep, so maybe there's a little... what's up with Marte Mapu? What's going on with him?
I don't know, man. He wasn't able to participate, and that's kind of been the story, unfortunately, throughout his career. And look, I celebrated when they took him because he was a guy I kind of caught on to late in the process because he was a late addition. I believe it was to the Senior Bowl, and maybe it was the Shrine Bowl, I forget which, but he showed out. And he's got a lot of great physical tools, but one, I think they put too much on his plate as a young guy. Like, both of his season premieres, he basically wore the green dot and played 4 different positions, which I think is really unfair for a young guy. So I don't love how they've used him. And I think as a man coverage guy, he's very good. I think he's very instinctive. But he also needs to improve as a tackler. He's been very inconsistent, and he hasn't been very sturdy as a run defender. But he also just needs to get on the field and be available. That's really the biggest thing for him. And then we'll see what happens from there. But, I mean, his future's up in the air as long as, you know, he's not out there participating.
Taylor Cowles joining us here. Thank you for spending some more time with us here. OTAs obviously start. Who else are you looking for? Like, is there somebody you've circled and be like, I want to know if this guy can contribute, or what can this guy give for the Patriots? Do you got any names, and what else are you looking for?
Kyle Williams has to be at the top of the list because he's, for one, a guy who seems very coachable. I know Mike Reese has done a great job highlighting that. But you can see if he doesn't do something the right way, like, rookies are going to be corrected almost every time they go through a rep the first time because they haven't done it before. And if, you know, they're going to run it the way that they know, but now you're going to run it the way the Patriots want it to be run. And he's got Mac Hollins helping it. It looked like Stephon Diggs was on the field celebrating a touchdown. It looked like he caught against Alex Austin. And Kyle Williams' ability to not only win deep, but also win underneath, I think completely opens up this offense. And like Mike Vrabel said, you don't want Drake Maye to have to do everything. You want to be able to run an efficient offense. And I think Kyle Williams is a big step in doing that. And like I said, I think Kayshon Boutte is a good player, but I think if Kyle Williams can be that starting X receiver for you, that just goes a huge way for your offense. So I've got my eye on him. And then I kind of talked about him, but Keon White, I really want to see him thrive on the edge because if he can do that, I think he's an every down player because it's going to be tough to get him snaps inside when you've got Barmore and Milton Williams on there already. You can do it schematically, but it's tough because you can only have 3 guys rushing inside, and then you also need somebody protecting the edges. So those are 2 guys that I think could make the biggest difference for the offense and defense, respectively. But there's a lot of names, man, like Jack Conley, an undrafted free agent who's been working next to Will Campbell, going back to rookie minicamp. He can play multiple positions. I think he could sneak onto the roster. Ethan Chisholm is a guy where Jalen Polk's not been available. A lot of the veterans aren't around. So he's an undrafted guy who got a big deal, and he's been used as that kind of Z receiver off the line a little bit in the slot and as a punt returner. So the more you can do, the better chance you have of making the roster. And as a young guy who's not drafted, you need as many reps as you can. And from what I've seen, he's made the most of them. I think he had the most catches in the OTA practice that we were at.
I'm looking at those year two guys: Caden Wallace, Layden Robinson. One of those guys, I think one of them can take the next step, and I think Wallace can play. Yeah, just from I know college to NFL is different. I think he can play, but Layden Robinson could take that job, man. If he wants that left guard job, it's his. He's just got to take it.
I agree, man. So Caden Wallace, it looked like, is probably the top backup at right tackle, and that makes the most sense, right? You have Will Campbell. Now put Caden Wallace back where he was in college, where he's comfortable, and let him thrive. And I honestly, people talk about Morgan Moses and how he's kind of volatile in terms of being an older guy. You don't know what his availability is. There aren't a lot of teams, I think, with better developmental depth than the Patriots. Like you mentioned, Layden Robinson should end up being your starting left guard by the end of his rookie deal. Caden Wallace should be your starting right tackle. Jared Wilson could maybe even win one of the starting guards, but he's your future center. I think everywhere, and as long as Mike Nwendu returns to form, which I think he should do with a full season at right guard under his belt, which he hasn't had in, God knows how long. I don't think actually ever in his career. But when you have that stability and those young guys who can step up, I'm one of the more optimistic guys when it comes to their upside, and I think that's why, because there's a lot of depth, and they haven't had that in a long time.
All right, he's Taylor Kyles, everybody. Check out his work. CLNS Media, CLNS. What are you doing, Pat's Pulpit Story? You're all over the place. I even saw you on NBC Sports Boston, man.
It's been a while, but yeah, man, I'm all over the place. I just want to talk Patriots. Anybody who lets me, just let me know. I'll do my best, but, CLNS is my home, and make sure to check us out on Patriots Press Pass on YouTube and CLNS Media for all my written stuff. Thank you again, man, for having me.
No, I do. We love you. You do a great job. I know you get your mailbag going, so I'm excited to see all that work. And I want to do this with you, though, week by week. I would like to, obviously, maybe we can find a sponsor to get you paid. I don't know how that works, but maybe like a Joshua update or like a Joshua tree or, da-da-da-da-da. McDaniels, I'm loving it. I don't know. We just, I'm the jury is out for me on McDaniels, and I hope he proves me wrong. That's where I'm at, Taylor.
I think he will, man. I think he will.
All right. Well, now we have a Josh meter. We'll be doing that week by week. Taylor, great job, man. Appreciate you joining us. Welcome anytime, and keep up the great work, and good luck tomorrow at OTAs.
Appreciate you, man. Talk soon.
You got it. He's Taylor Kyles, everybody. Check out his work. CLNS Media. Awesome job. All right. Well, I got my Patriots fix. I got to stop battling with the reporters. It wasn't a battle. It was just I got to stop, let them have their take, and then I write my take down and don't interrupt.
Well, that's the point. We're bringing Taylor on.
You want me to go back and forth with him?
Very knowledgeable.
He's very knowledgeable.
Only if you disagree with what he's saying.
No.
It's tough to disagree because Taylor knows his stuff.
I know. So I'm Joe Murray, jury out on Josh McDaniels. And if you want to fight me on it, we can do it on the other side after the headline on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, Red Sox are in action right now. They're playing in Milwaukee, where I heard they have good beer. No score right now, 0-0. Top of the fifth inning. Richard Fitz is on the mound. We got a couple of games going on right now. One in the NHL. Let me give you the scores on that one. 1-0 Oilers, 6:50 to go. In the first, Edmonton leads that series 2-1. In the NBA, Pacers have a 47-49, 42 lead. Tyrese Halliburton, 15 points and 6 assists. That is just through one quarter, basically.
I was shocked. I thought the scorebook had to be wrong.
Not bad. Headlines. And OTAs are tomorrow, everybody. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Huey Lewis. Reminds me of, Back to the Future.
Reminds everybody of Back to the Future.
I saw a TikTok video this week of, what was Doc's real name there? Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
But he did this video of, like, him showing up at, like, on Mars for the man. Hey, I was here for this, and it was just kind of funny. But I like that he's still doing those things. And Michael J. Fox is going to be on Shrinking this season. So
those guys are very. I've heard they're very approachable at like the convention scenes too.
Oh, I think I'd freak out if I met Michael J. Fox. He was like I'm 43. He was one of the biggest shows in the 80s, right? Family Ties. Mm-hmm. Not to mention Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. No, a good friend of mine is obsessed with. He owns a DeLorean. He's obsessed with Back to the Future.
Whoa!
Yes, he owns. I've seen it, Joe. I've sat in this thing. It is an honest to goodness DeLorean.
Do you think I can fit in a DeLorean?
No, I don't.
Do you know who else?
I can barely fit in a DeLorean.
Do you know who else drove a DeLorean when we were talking about a movie earlier?
Adam Sandler,
The Wedding Singer. Remember the guy Julia Gulia? What was his name?
No, because I told you I saw the movie on an airplane like 20 years ago. It was the last time I've seen it.
Okay, well, when she got drunk, Drew Barrymore, they had to walk her to the car. And when the dude pulled up the car, it was a DeLorean.
And the door opened.
Opened upwards.
There's like a club of people. I know we were gonna like take calls and everything, and I've totally sidetracked this. But there's a club of people in America. They're DeLorean owners, and they all meet up and they have like helplines with each other.
So like DeLorean Fest.
Yeah, my buddy's my guitar instructor Ethan owns. There's a DeLorean sitting in his garage right now.
DeLorean-mania?
Yes. He loves it. And so he goes to all the conventions and he always gets his picture taken with like Christopher Lloyd.
That would be cool. Like if I do a lot of card shows, right?
You could absolutely get your picture taken.
Imagine just being at a show with a DeLorean I'd pay $10 for that. I don't know. Maybe.
Drive it around.
What if I could sit in it?
If I'm forking money down, can I at least turn it on?
Can I start it? Can I push a button?
I would like to.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm just paying $10 for a picture in a DeLorean, okay, fine, but
okay,
you drive it.
We were just talking to Taylor Kyles. I had thoughts on Josh McDaniels. And Josh, is he on the line with us? Josh, hello, sir.
Hi. Joe Murray.
Hi, I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe. I just wanted to call in about your Josh McDaniels take. I mean, he made Mac Jones look like a competent rookie, in my opinion. I mean, Mac Jones hasn't looked anywhere as good as he did in his rookie year. I would say that's a positive thing that he did with it.
Josh, my take was he has done nothing without Brady and or Belichick. So who is he with Mac Jones?
Yeah, he was with Bill.
Yeah. So the take is, and just to give you the numbers, he has had quarterbacks. Tim Tebow, right? How'd that work out? He drafted him in the first round. How'd that work out?
Yeah.
And then he came back to the Patriots and then left and went to the Rams, right? And he had a number 1 overall pick in Sam Bradford. He was pretty good in college, right? He was the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And do you know what he did with them? He
was pretty injury prone.
Well, the offense was ranked 32nd in the league, and there's only 32 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he had Derek Carr. That didn't go well either.
No, it did not.
So I'm working in fact. Without Brady or Belichick, the jury's out.
No, I agree with you. You know, you're right.
So he did do a good job, though, with Cam Newton and Mac Jones. It's just that Belichick was there.
Right, sure.
You know? It's just, can he do it without Belichick or Brady? You think he can?
I hope so. I mean, I still want to pump the brakes on Drake May because, I mean, everyone thinks he's, the second coming. He's all this. I mean, he had a lot of turnovers last year. I understand, the offensive line. I mean, it's many factors as to why that could be. I'm optimistic. I want to hope we have a good football season this year. The Celtics that was a letdown. The Red Sox seem like they're not going anywhere, and Bruins, who knows? But want to stay positive, right?
That's right, Josh. What's for dinner tonight?
I actually went to the ground round in Shrewsbury.
Oh, my God. Well, give me the menu. Give me the spiel. Did you get popcorn at the beginning?
No, I just got just a regular hamburger and fries. I went there a bunch as a kid. I'm 32, almost 33. But they reopened it. Now it's in Shrewsbury. There used to be a location in Worcester. It was pretty good. Lived up to the hype.
Did they have Charlie Chaplin going in there?
No. There's no. When I was a kid, they used to have peanuts on the floor and stuff. But now everyone has a peanut allergy. They can't do that anymore.
That's true. Yeah. What'd you get to eat?
I just got just a hamburger and French fries. Nothing too special.
What kind? What'd you get on toppings for your burger?
Your favorite lettuce and tomatoes, ketchup. That's about it.
Cheese?
American cheese, yes.
Okay, no bacon.
No bacon, no.
What about onion rings?
I like onion rings, yeah.
But you didn't get them.
I just got French fries. No, sir.
So just a burger, fries, and a beer?
Yeah, just a regular B-Hoppy, Wormtown.
Oh, Wormtown, Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yes, represent.
All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hopefully you enjoyed your dinner. Ground Round Band, that was my spot back in the day.
Dinner back in 1996.
Yeah, they used to pay what you weigh back in the day, and well, still, I don't think I want to pay that anymore.
Inflation, the way it is, oh my God. Take a mortgage on the house.
$3.75. Thank you.
Days.
I loved the Ground Round. I walked in, there were little Charlie Chaplin videos, and they give you popcorn where you sit down. And then the best was they had these desserts. They called them slider sundaes, when you can get a Red Sox cup,
little
like
helmet.
a helmet. Oh,
used to have
vanilla whipped cream and then a little hot fudge right on top.
Right there in the Newton Needham line.
Yeah, that's right. It's now a
it's a bunch
Mexican
of
joint.
Things, yeah.
What's it called? Acapulco's. They were one of my old sponsors back in the day. Hello, Acapulco, Caesar.
It used to be like a food prep place there.
Yeah, what's the Restaurant Depot? Oh no, not there.
I can't remember that.
I worked in that plaza.
I got fired from that place. Like after a month of working there.
Well, fired
didn't
place.
Like me.
I worked at the TripAdvisor there, and then
good spot. You got your Mighty Subs.
Gone. Rest in peace.
Is it gone for real?
Dude, it's gone.
I'm leaving.
Sadness.
I didn't know that. Obviously, I haven't been over.
I used to work at a radio station right around the corner, and I visited they knew me.
I worked at the Enterprise right down the street, so I'd be.
Well, you could have picked me up, and then we could have got a sub, and you could have went back.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You could see me from a mile walking across the street with this enormous.
Mighty Sub was huge.
That's what I'm saying. Like I needed. Like my wingspan to carry it.
I was a big boy. Yeah. They don't make them like that anymore.
Nope. I'd get half for lunch, and then the other half was dinner because that's what I was surviving on when I was 20. I think,
if it
21.
ain't big, I don't want it. All right, we got In or Out coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe.
Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, no score in Milwaukee between the Red Sox and Brewers. Top of the 6th inning, Richard Fitz is on the mound. Pacers have a 58-56 lead on New York. 3 minutes to go before halftime. And at the NHL playoffs, it is Edmonton 1-0 over the Stars. They lead the series 2-1. Headlines are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. It's time for It or Out.
No matter where you go, you're always connected to Boston sports with the 98.5 The Sports Hub app. Download it wherever you get your apps today. Around here, we call them the Joe Murray pre-party. It's Felger and Maz, afternoons right now. Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
I mean, I wouldn't. One of your managers, is that? Can we say that? The Jeremy Conley created.
Oh
this.
yeah, no, Jeremy is definitely something.
He is. What's his title?
He is the executive producer of Bruins, Celtics, Patriots,
Radio Network.
Radio Network. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
he's got to do all the money stuff.
The Jeremy Conley is the one who, because when I took over for the predecessor, your former host, Ryan Garvin used to work for Adam Jones on the competing stuff.
More of like a partnership. I don't like to think.
Okay, well, you were his producer.
Yes, I was his producer.
And he was my predecessor, and I worked with him for years. So, and it's the same name as a guitarist for Tool.
Adam Jones, yes.
Correct.
I heard you do this with, I think, McCarthy.
I did this the other night.
No, lift shots.
No, he had no clue.
You had no idea.
I was trying to put lift shots in the blender of make him say things, He wasn't having it.
I was shocked, by the way, to find out Lift Shots is a year younger than I am. I could not believe that. I know we're supposed to be doing in or out.
Out on him being a year older than you or younger than
you? Out. Oh, my goodness. All right. In or out?
Yes,
Joe,
Ryan Garvin is in tonight for Skaz.
You think?
Yeah, this is the deal. You run it, and I answer, and you can have an opinion too. Maybe Trey gives a thumbs up or down.
All right. Well, let's start with this one. As we were talking about the Red Sox earlier, and I know a lot has been made about their offensive approach. Maybe they could use some better coaches. There's a guy out there, Joe Murray. He's available. I don't know if you would want him. Are you in or out? Is Manny Ramirez, Red Sox great, Manny Ramirez, Joe, as a hitting coach in baseball?
I'm in. Now, I have a lot of questions. Does Manny know there's 162 games? Does Manny know that they have this early hitting practice?
Oh, okay. So it's actually does Manny know the rules?
Does Manny know that you still have to wear a uniform? Does Manny know that, you have to go on the road for 81 games? Does Manny know? That would be the I'm interested, but. Because, what if.
There's a lot of caveats.
What if Manny's like, dude, I want to be the hitting coach? And it's like, well, dude, you got to go to. It's Memorial Day weekend. Just want you to know you're going to play Baltimore.
Oh, I'm not available.
And then you're flying to Milwaukee.
I was like, did you say Memorial Day weekend? I was like, I got a timeshare. I got this beautiful beachfront property.
Well, he used his grandmother died excuse, I think, 3 times. So, does he have another one?
Listen, if you want to get out of work, you'll always find another dead grandmother.
Yes.
I just worry it's like a Jim Rice kind of thing where, another good friend of mine, Lou Merlone, he had Jim Rice as a hitting coach, and Jim Rice's advice for everything was just, put the barrel out, get the ball, get the head of the bat on the ball. It's like, well, that's all well and good for you, Jim. You're a Hall of Fame hitter. I'm just trying to, find, do I got to hitch in my swing or anything? No, you just got to make contact. And I worry it's going to be like that with Manny Ramirez, who just had this. I think Rafael Devers is like this too, by the way, who's just this pure, wonderful baseball talent, Joe, but can't actually explain how he does it. So I feel like it could be good because it could be very short hitting meetings.
I agree.
Just got to power in.
Gabe, who tried calling in earlier but said we hung up on him. But
that's probably true.
But I said
not on purpose.
No, we're working on some things. He said lift shots being 34 or 35 is the craziest thing ever.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Because I had honestly no idea that's what he looked like.
One day I'll tell you how I met lift shots and then how it all happened. Because believe it or not, he didn't like me when we first met.
Really?
And then he loved me.
I could see that.
But that's how he makes friends. He has an argument with you, and then you guys become friends.
You guys became the banquet.
Yes, but that's how he makes friends. He fights with you.
It's like trying to
and if you don't push him away, you guys will become closer. Does that ever happen with you with anybody?
I think so. I mean, I would say
do you think women have you ever had that with a woman?
Not with a woman, but I've had friends who, if you just walked in on a conversation between me and a friend, you'd be like, these two hate each other. The way they're arguing right now, you would think that they have never said a nice word about each other. I'm like, no, we're actually very good friends.
Yes, but you just feel like you can talk to each other that way.
Very honest, yes. That's you and Liv, or that was you and Liv Shads.
No, one day he didn't like my bets, and so I made a bet with him, and I won. And then we became friends.
And then you got to
I challenged him. I go, all right, well, put your money where your mouth is, sucker. And that's what happened. All right,
what's it going to be, McFly?
Yes, what is it going to be, McFly?
Or out?
So I was not aware that this was a big tradition, Joe, but we were talking about the Indy 500. And Fox Sports had the Red Sox game, which also had the Indy 500, and I saw a guy after a Jaron Duran home run dump milk all over himself. And I was like, oh, that's really weird. That's just a weird guy, right? Then I went, nope, let me connect that. He was wearing an Indy 500 shirt. And as you told me, it's tradition after you win the Indy 500 to drink milk. So, Joe, are you in or out on drinking milk after the Indy 500?
In. It's a tradition. It started back in 1936 with Louis Mayer, who might have been part of Oscar Mayer. But he was the first 3-time Indy 500 winner. He requested buttermilk after his win. It was captured on camera, and a dairy executive saw the photo and made milk available for all future winners.
Milk was big back then. You wanted to get in on milk early.
Remember A Christmas Story with the code that he had to get? What was the code?
What was the code?
That he learned in the bathroom.
I don't remember.
Be sure to drink your
milk.
Ovaltine.
Your Ovaltine.
What's your favorite kind of milk?
If it were me, I want the plastic bottle, maybe liter. I don't know how they make them now, but I want a plastic bottle of strawberry Nesquik. That is the greatest milk there is. There's other flavors that are wonderful. I know they're trying to do vanilla and banana, but I could just go right back to my childhood just thinking about drinking out of a plastic bottle, a tall glass of strawberry, not milk, strawberry Nesquik.
I think I go by colors. If it's just whole milk or 2% or whatever, I think I usually get the blue or the red. I can't remember now.
I thought they were all blue.
No, sometimes they have a yellow.
It's been a long time.
And then there's oat milk and there's
almond milk.
No, but maybe Dondero.
How do you get milk?
Maybe you should get Dondero to drink almond milk instead of almonds.
Yes, I said earlier that Dondero during breaks likes to enjoy some almonds as a snack, and they always dry his throat out, and they cause him to cough. A crazy amount of coughing comes from that.
You know what? For any almond people out there,
yes,
I have an advertising opportunity for you.
Okay.
Just hit me up, Joe Murray at 98.5.
Oh, we're going to do this offline. We don't, you know what?
No, I just put the almond people, reach out. I got an idea.
We'll talk to the almond people.
What's it going to be, McFly? Are you in or out?
Okay, well, I came in all hot and bothered about the state of basketball, Joe. As I was telling you, if you watched the end of the Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves game, you saw a lot of free throws. And I do mean a lot of free throws. When one team was down 3, they would hack going the other way just to make sure that nobody could get a shot off. And I had this epiphany watching that game. I went, oh, no. The buzzer beater in basketball, college and professional, is dead. Are you in or out on the buzzer beater being dead in basketball?
Good question. And I know we got Bobby Krivitsky coming up at 9:20, so I'll make it quick. I feel boxing's dead. I feel that at times horse racing can be dead.
Oh, absolutely.
But every once in a while, you get a beat, right? So it's dead. But every once in a while, you get a beat.
Little pulse.
And you only had one in the NCAA tournament, right?
Yeah,
Maryland guys. Trey's, even though he goes to BU, he's from Maryland.
Maryland guy.
But yes, and then how many game winners have there been in the NBA? Well, Halliburton, I guess, had one to go into overtime.
You had but this barely counted, the Aaron Gordon.
Oh, yeah, Aaron Gordon hit a big three. You're right.
That was a .1, but he also had the three-pointer as well.
That's right.
I think my issue is more of just like the strategy.
It's not dead. It's dead. The strategy's dead.
It's pretty close.
It's hacked now, and yeah, I think that's analytics, personally.
That's what it felt like. 9 seconds left. Anthony Edwards coming down the floor. Chance to take the lead. Nope. Foul him. Take foul. That's where we are.
All right. Get a couple more. Anything else?
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
I pulled this one from the YouTube chat. Arnold Barberin.
Arnold,
we're gonna answer your thing on Pressed Cafe. Great breakfast burritos. I don't know what that
Pressed
place is.
Cafe.
I'm not.
You ever been to Pressed?
I don't think I have. No. But my question was about: are you in or out on the breakfast burrito?
Okay, I love but here's the deal: I'm very picky of what's
Caveats,
in it.
Yes.
So, like, what is okay? Google, ready? What is in a breakfast burrito? Now, I have made breakfast burritos in the past when I was a chef at McDonald's. Is that fair to call myself a chef when I worked at McDonald's?
I wouldn't tell other
Trey's laughing at me.
I wouldn't tell other chefs that
I was
you're
a chef,
but I don't cook. So yeah, sure, I'll take your chef lie.
Okay, so I would make them like a scrambled folded egg, but I would get onion and pepper and put them in the egg and then fold it. Put it in there with, whatever. But what does a breakfast burrito contain? Eggs, ham, cheese?
Those last two, definitely. You need the cheese to hold everything together.
I put potato in mine. Sometimes I put sausage in mine. But I don't want your olives, spinach, beans, tomato, lettuce, sometimes chili, or your peppers.
We're an omelet country. That's what that sounds. It sounds like a wrapped up omelet.
Is a breakfast burrito all of that, or is it just something wrapped in a burrito for breakfast?
I think it's the latter.
So I could just put
food, but wrapped
sausage
in a tortilla,
egg, cheese in a tortilla.
And I would say that looks like a delicious breakfast burrito.
I make that almost every day.
You're in on the breakfast burrito.
Do you know what else I learned? Sometimes I put my tortilla right on the grill thing. So I use an oven. What do you call those things when you turn them on? The burner. Sometimes this is what I do, Ryan. I know we got to go. I put the tortilla on the burner, and then I flip it. Then I put it on a plate. I take my eggs, I put it in. My sausage, I put it in. My cheese, I put it in. And then I fold. Boom. Breakfast burrito.
Sounds more like a wrap than a burrito. But
Is it a wrap or a burrito?
I get what you're saying.
This is what I'm saying. What was the difference?
I can tell Bobby we got to talk to him another time because we're in the middle of something.
No, we got all night.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
That's in or out.
Give me one more before we go. I know where
okay. The last caller whose name I can't remember was talking about his meal at the Ground Round.
Yeah, Josh.
And he said you had a burger, and you said with cheese. And you said, oh yeah, American cheese. Burgers without cheese. Are you in or out?
I don't want a hamburger. I love cheese. You don't know this, Ryan. I love a nice sharp cheddar cheese from Cabot that I buy at the store, and they're sliced up and they come in a little bit. You know what I'm talking about, right? I love that cheese. I like to put pepperoni on that cheese with a Ritz cracker, and I'll eat that all day long. What I found out was that cost $4.99. I can buy a brick of Cabot cheese and cut it myself for $1.90.
Cutting out the middleman.
So now I grab a knife and a cutting board and I put it in a plastic bag, dude, and it rolls because it lasts longer than the $4.99 one that's already pre-sliced.
Also, probably more cost efficient in the long run. If you're using it every day, it practically pays for itself.
See? We're learning something today.
Intern Trey, you're going to learn a lot working on this show, man.
Food. A lot of food
That
stuff.
whole house you got, the lacrosse house in Boston. Oh,
yeah.
Man, you're gonna
I'll have all the
so
lacrosse. I'll have the lacrosse bros cutting their own cheese like you won't believe. Hey, we got Bobby Krivitsky coming up next. We're going to talk to him about the Celtics. We'll do that next on The Sports.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray.
98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Got a full show tonight. I think we've done almost everything tonight. We started Red Sox. We got into some Patriots. Did some basketball already. We got music at the end of the hour. Don't want to miss that. But let's do some more hoops. I wanted to have this man on the air tonight because I saw that he's been looking at the draft, which I'm somewhat interested in when it comes to the NBA. Joining us here on 98.5 The Sports Hub, it's Bobby Krivitsky. Bobby, Celtics NBA reporter, Celtics reporter, does a lot of work with Forbes. I know he's with Sports Map and Bleacher Report. What's up, Bobby? How you doing tonight, bud?
Hey, Joe. Appreciate you having me on.
So I'm watching this Pacers-Knicks game right now, and it makes me upset still about the Celtics, of course. It still bothers me here, but we've had some time to look back on it and, some of the warts that maybe the Celtics had. I know there's a lot of things ahead. We don't know what's ahead, right, realistically, with the cap and everything, but what type of changes do you think that they need to look forward to or really need to address for next season?
I think there's going to be significant changes to come. Just Jason Tatum's injury, and I did an interview with one of the leaders when it comes to Achilles repair, Dr. Stone. He runs his own practice out in California, and he's very bullish on the fact that Jason Tatum can come back and play at the level we're accustomed to seeing from him and continue to remain healthy upon return. But the reality is this is still a franchise-altering injury. Before it happened, I think it was realistic to think the Celtics would have taken a 2 off-season approach to getting under the second apron, but it's really difficult to justify remaining over when you don't expect to have Jason Tatum for the entirety of next season. And so to accomplish that and get under, it doesn't have to be this offseason, it just has to be before the end of the next league year. But if you're looking at trying to get it done this summer, because there are risks, whether it's you hold on to a player and he gets injured or his stock dips or whatever the case may be, if you're looking to get it done this summer and really even during the season, the most likely names that are outbound are Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis, and the return is primarily going to be saving money to get under the second apron. So you're talking about a roster makeover that's going to be dramatic.
All right, Bobby, I got a couple of takes on that one. I know Dallas is one of the teams interested in Drew Holiday. I know Sacramento is. Sacramento could use a point guard, right? And maybe they. I think the need is front court. I don't think you can rely on, let's say it's Cornette or Horford. It's not that they're bad. I just think they're bench players now. So I think they need an upgrade in the front court. So I don't know if Valanciunas is a name, like if they wanted to kind of get their point guard, bring a big and back and save some money. Dallas with Gafford kind of interests me. I know he's been a spot starter, but, a big in the league. Are those the names that people should be looking for? You're not going to get the player of Drew Holiday, but you will have a need and you can save some money on the tax.
Well, I want to start here. I think Luke Cornette, who's coming off a career year, is capable of being a starting center, especially for the outlook the Celtics have next season. And I think he could continue to really grow into that role, improving himself. I think he'll have opportunities on the open market from teams that view him as a starting center. But even if the Celtics bring back Luke Cornette and Al Horford, that position remains a need. So they'll need someone else. Maybe they look at next season and they're willing to see what they can get out of Nemish Queta. Maybe they hope that Xavier Tillman Sr., who's still under contract, he just was basically non-existent last year. Maybe they hope that he's able to bounce back and look more like the guy that was a big contributor in their Game 3 finals win in Dallas. So they could look internally. I think the draft is definitely a place where they'll have an eye on centers as well. But there's no doubt that's a position of need. Regarding Valanciunas specifically, I just think he's at a stage in his career where he would be the third center on the depth chart, which is fine. It addresses a need, but I think it would be a little underwhelming. And I think they might want someone who's younger, like the draft, a player who could contribute not only next season, but beyond.
All right, Bobby. I'm interested in that one. Luke Cornette, the starter, huh?
I believe. I think he's proven to be a great system fit and really impactful at both ends.
Oh, I think he's been the way he's rehabilitated his career from being a shooter to G League player to big in the league, I think it's great. Would they have to change their philosophy if he was getting potentially 20 minutes a night?
No, because what we've seen is that he can fit in double big lineups and they can continue to space the floor with him. Now, it might be harder without Jason Tatum's playmaking and the attention that he commands, but for Luke Cornett and the job that he does, he can still utilize his gravity, including teams playing off of him, effectively to create for others without crowding the floor.
Okay. Luke Cornett, there it is. Bobby, he thinks that it could happen. One more Celtics, and you mentioned the draft. I'm interested in that. I think Baylor Shireman can replace Drew Holiday. Now, I don't think he can defensively or the leadership, but as far as production-wise, I think that's the replacement. I don't know what Sam Hauser's future is. I think there's value for him. I also think there's value in keeping him. Could Drew Peterson step into that role, or do you think they would have to find another shooter if they did move on from Hauser?
With Hauser, I think a lot of those minutes would also go to Baylor Shireman.
Yeah.
Drew Peterson, he showed flashes last year, including, for as skinny as he is, he's pretty feisty and competitive defensively and on the glass. So that was endearing to the coaching staff and his teammates. He had a really nice game in Cleveland, in particular, earlier in the regular season. I just think that they would look at it, and again, Shireman would get the bulk of the load. Even if both Holiday and Hauser are gone, he would be a massive benefiter from that. I think they would give Jordan Walsh some opportunities to take a leap that we haven't really seen from him yet. And then, of course, the draft, and you look at who might be coming back as far as veterans in some of these trades to get under the second apron or at least get close to it. So Shireman would be the main beneficiary, but I think some of those other names I mentioned, along with potential acquisitions, would also get some of those minutes.
Yeah, I'm a Shireman guy. I think he can play. I think he's going to need the ball a little bit to play, meaning off the dribble stuff to that degree. But that's why I feel like he can take some of Drew's minutes if that is the case there. And I'm only mentioning these other names here, like you mentioned Cornett. I'm mentioning these other names because they got to get creative, man. Like, this tax is no joke. And I know that Brad said he didn't want to put a ceiling on this group. I do think there are some guys that can contribute that didn't play. I think Keita could have played against the Knicks. They decided not to until Game 6 when he actually put up some numbers. So I still think the roster is competitive, but when it comes down to the playoffs, I think they need to be better in the front court. So I don't know if there's an impact big in the draft. I like the kid that played with Baylor Shireman a year ago. Was it Kalkbrenner? I think that dude can play. I know there's other guys that are out there. I just saw you kind of tweeting out about a few guys, Colorado State, etc. Do you think they're looking big, and do you think they will draft, or will they be part of maybe salary dumps as well, the picks?
So the first off, I do not think maybe the 32nd pick. That's a distinct possibility that one is involved in shedding salary. I fully expect them to keep their first-round pick. I won't rule out that they package both selections to try to move up for a player they really like, but I don't know if that happens, and it ultimately might be a direction they decide not to go in. They've done a great job developing players, which could be used as an argument for or against moving up, and I tend to think that they will stick it and pick it when it comes to that, much like the Baltimore Ravens in the NFL. And so when it comes to the idea of a center who might be on their radar, I'm fully with you when it comes to Kalkbrenner, that he is someone who fits the mold, and I think he's a great system fit. Another name to keep an eye on within their range, especially if that 28th pick, is Maxime Reynaud, a 7-footer from France. He was a teammate of Victor Wembanyama's before coming over to play.
We need all the French guys. I'm sorry, I got excited.
You need all the Frenchmen, and when you're 7 feet, you shoot the 3-ball well, and you can protect the rim. That's a great foundation to work with. So there's definitely flaws in a younger and very raw prospect overall. But again, if you're able to have Al Horford and Luke Cornett to lean on, it makes his development that much more comfortable if you're the Celtics.
who else is in this draft? Like if I'm just nitpicking, like mind's eye, I know Ace Bailey was very good. Trey Johnson, I thought, was a pretty good player. Dylan Harper is probably one of those guys, right? Like, now guys are coming out now. They were at the draft, and now they're going back to school. I think tomorrow is the deadline or whatever, but like the draft has lost its luster, would you say?
Yeah, it's definitely thrown a monkey wrench into it. And even Brad Stevens acknowledged that there are good players, potential first-round picks, in fact, that they have huge commitments in NIL money waiting for them should they decide to return. And if some have already made that decision. And even Cedric Coward, who's a player who might be available for the Celtics, who I'm a massive fan of. He's an outstanding shooter, 6'8", great length, and really disruptive defensively. He's chosen to stay in the draft, but if he wanted to go, he could have transferred to Duke for a very lucrative NIL and financial package. So that's just the reality of pulling good prospects towards the end of the first round in particular out of the draft now.
Got it. Yeah, that NIL is doing a lot of damage in this league. I wanted to bring up one more thing. I saw Jaylen Brown was out at the 741 event this week, a pop-up. He showed up. I know Noah Dalzell wrote a big article on it. She was there. Brown spoke specifically about staying in Boston this summer for the first time and being here. He met every person at that event, talked to them, had like an intimate conversation. To me, like, is that setting up for a potential, like Sham said today, everybody's available. Is this him wanting to get closer to the community, or is this, I want to be a Boston guy, don't trade me, and if they do, he did everything he could for the town? I get an antenna when I hear things like that. Things pop up in my head when I see that, and I think he does want to stay here.
I think he definitely wants to stay here, and either way, he is someone who wants and does make an impact in the community. I can remember a couple of years ago when he was eligible for the Supermax extension, and there were some fine details that they had to smooth over and negotiate. The contract was going to get done, but nonetheless, it wasn't like it was done immediately. There was some stuff they kind of had to haggle over, and he was out in the community involved in court renovations and unveilings and different things and just making a difference. And that's really who Jaylen Brown is and always has been. You mentioned him, how he was able to take time to meet with everyone who was out there the other day over the weekend. That's par for the course with him, whether it's a pop-up in the Seaport or anywhere else. He wants to have an impact. He wants to connect. He wants to put in the time that if you're willing to show up to one of his events, he wants to be able to have you leaving with a favorable impression. I remember covering when he showed up to Johnny Cupcakes on Newbury Street, and that place was mobbed, and he was there for hours speaking with everyone. So this is just who he is. It's what he does. And even if I do not expect Jaylen Brown to get traded this summer, but even if that happens, he's not going to look back and regret. And I don't think he's using this as a leverage play in some sort of PR messaging. I think it's more just staying true to who he is.
All right, Bobby, Ryan Garvin's here tonight. We just did in or out, and he asked us a question. And I want him to ask you the question and get your answer.
Yeah, Bobby, this was right off.
I'm very excited.
This was off the ending of the Thunder Timberwolves game where there was a lot of fouling to put guys.
Yep, I think I know where you're going here.
So I'm wondering, has analytics caused the death of the buzzer beater in basketball?
Well, it's a low percentage shot to begin with, so you don't get a ton of it. The fact that you can wipe some of it away certainly hurts. I don't think it has caused the death. It's not eliminated. It still exists. It's still possible. But from, an entertainment standpoint, it certainly is not great for the viewer. I'm not particularly hot and bothered by it, but it's not ideal for the viewing experience that a dramatic finish can just be immediately halted by the reality that a team with a 3-point cushion or more can just foul and take away the theatrics of the game and make for an unsuspenseful ending where everything is slow and you're just kind of playing out the string, expecting that team to hold on to the lead. The other side might not even get a shot off the rest of the way. So it's certainly anticlimactic, and I would say bad from the sense of this being an entertainment product. But no, I don't think it's the complete erasure of buzzer-beating shots and opportunities.
All right, Bobby, before I let you go, I'm throwing this one at you. What is your hottest take of NBA free agency going forward? What's your hottest take? What's something you're hot on that you think could happen?
It's a great question. I wish I had anything close to a good answer for you. I'm really more looking at it. I haven't dove into free agency and what's out there yet, so I don't have something spicy. There won't be anything spicy with the Celtics. Maybe they hit on a really small signing that people fall in love with, but nothing spectacular over the top there for sure. So from a Boston perspective, I definitely don't have anything. But if you allow me to marinate on this, I will definitely get back to you and produce some sort of a hot take about what might go down in free agency.
I feel like that's the line I use. So I it sounds like you're a listener, so I like that. But that's what I tell people to do. I'm going to marinate it for a little bit, before we pop it.
I think it's a perfect line and definitely appropriate in this case. I will get back to you, Joe. I will have something for you. We'll make it sizzling.
All right, I'm ready. I'm ready to put that on the air fryer, and then let it sizzle. Yeah. Maybe we'll put it in the pan after, and sear it a little bit. Mine is, I think Kevin Durant or Donovan Mitchell end up in Miami.
So that's a trade, and I definitely think that Miami is a team with interest in Kevin Durant, and that's mutual. I look at the Heat, and you're not a Kevin Durant away from anything. You have an encouraging young core you're starting to develop, so I'm fine with the Heat making some sort of a big trade, but I would steer younger than Kevin Durant if I'm them.
What about Giannis?
Yeah, that's a spicy one right there. That again, this is trade, not free agency, but I do think the Houston Rockets and the San Antonio Spurs, those Texas teams, are going to go really hard after Giannis. I know there's some rumors about the Warriors, and he was out in the Bay recently, but I just don't think Golden State can produce the package necessary to get that done, and I don't think Milwaukee's going to capitulate to that extent to where they're sending him out there for way less than what's available. But the Spurs and the Rockets, they have young players and a package of picks that they can, and I think will throw at Milwaukee.
Well, I broke a case of Revolution basketball cards today, so I know who all the rookies.
Who'd you get?
Well, we pulled a Luka Doncic kaboom.
Pretty good right there.
Which is pretty good, and a lot of New York. We got a couple of New York. We got a Cade Cunningham rookie today.
Love that.
No, sorry, not a Cade.
We know
Cunningham
that
autograph.
Nico would have traded the Luka Doncic card.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, who knows what he does with Cooper Flag? I don't think they'll allow him to even go near that pick. But I'm all. I feel like the basketball season just ended, and I broke a bunch of cards today, and I went, wow, I know all these guys. Anyways, Bobby, great job, buddy, man. We'll catch up with you down the road. I'll hold you to that take. We'll marinate, we'll air fry, and we'll do it again some other time, my man. Appreciate your time.
Joe, always a pleasure. I look forward to getting you that take.
You got it, but he's Bobby Krivitsky. Everybody check out his work and follow him on Twitter as well, X as the friends call him.
It's going to be a succulent take. Marinated for that long.
NBA free agency is way better than every other free agency.
Of course it is.
Way better.
Because stuff happens.
Exactly. People are on the move.
And I know Bobby was like, well, that'd be a trade. That'd be a trade. I'm like, yeah.
Well, that's free agency.
That's what happens in basketball is big name players get traded for other big name players.
Mm-hmm.
Not guys to be named later, not cash considerations or player exemptions and coupons the Celtics like to collect and let expire.
Mm-hmm. Well, we got a wild hockey game going on right now. I'll give you the score of the Celtics game. And the Red Sox pitching is doing something I can't believe. So we'll do all that in headlines coming up next on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
All right, game 4. Right now, Pacers have an 85-77 lead over New York. Tyrese Halliburton. 21 points, 8 rebounds, 13 assists. He's on his way to a triple-double. Can we bet it? I would like to bet that. Is it too late?
I'm going to go look right now.
I might go look, too. Oilers up 2-1 right now on the Stars. 5:35 left in the second period. Edmonton leads that series 2-1. And the Red Sox right now a 1-0 lead in Milwaukee over the Brewers. Ceddanne Rafaela scored on a wild pitch. They got 3 innings from Dick Fitz. Then Brendan Bernardino came in. Then Weissert. Then Wilson. Now Slayton. And they have given up no runs. And really, they haven't even knocked in any runs, but they lead 1-0. Marcelo Mayer, 2 hits on the night and a walk. Headlines, they are brought to you by John Sewer and Drain Cleaning. With over 50 trucks on the road, because your clogged drain is their emergency. Go to johnsewer.com. I'm Joe Murray.
More Joe Murray coming up.
Sports Hub. I know the song. Who sings it?
This is
Veruca Salt?
Veruca Salt.
There we go. Thank you. What was Veruca Salt's big song?
Seether.
Wait, who sang "Stupid Girl"? Was that garbage? No. Stupid Girl.
No, that's garbage. Wait,
that's garbage.
I think it's garbage. When you said "Stupid Girl," I thought it was Cold. Somewhere Jeff Williams is fist pumping because we're talking about.
He's very happy about this.
I thought garbage.
No, Seether.
Seether was there.
Seether was Veruca Salt.
Yes.
That was a big one. 1994.
That was the one.
All Hail Me.
That's what this is.
Number one, Blind.
Don't think I know Blind.
Yeah, because I remember I had the album. Victrola.
That's off. Is that American? That's All American.
All American Thighs, baby.
American Thighs.
Taking me way back here, Ryan. Appreciate that every once in a while. A fellow has been waiting in a while. His name is Bert. He's in Berlin. Bert, Berlin. Hello, sir.
Hey, good evening, guys. So I was calling on in or out, but as I was waiting, I'm thinking, Joe, you're the betting man that we all look up to. I've got to share a story about a bad beat, right? So PGA Championship. Scheffler's going in final round. I get odds on John Rahm plus 2,400 to win, and then I'm looking. I say, I'm going to hedge this plus 450 for top 5. Right? Yep. I'm covered. So 11th hole, Rahm takes the lead at -10 on the 11th, right? Okay. I'm thinking, oh, Christ, okay, I covered it, right? So what happens in the final 3 holes? Listen to this. Bogey, double, +5 on 16, 17, and 18. He went from 5th to 8th on the final freaking putt. I mean, I was like, the only consolation, Joe, is that he lost $1 million.
Yep.
And I lost less than that.
Yeah, can I tell you what that is, Bert?
It's a bad beat,
no,
right?
It's smelly.
What is it? What?
It's smelly.
Smelly.
No, that's smelly. It is smelly. That is.
I know.
That
it smelled bad. It smelled bad where I was.
Because again, I don't think realistically a guy like John Rahm would have 3 consecutive holes that bad, especially on 16, 17, 18. Right. So to me, it's a little smelly to me.
I gotta believe. I'm thinking to myself, what? This is covered, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he was leading after 11.
It's smelly to me.
You know, it is. It smells. But I had to share that with you, buddy.
I appreciate.
I know you work the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm not big into it. I'm not deep in the money. I do it just for entertainment. What the hell do I care about PGA golf, right?
I'll tell you.
But I'm thinking, hey, this is a good number. Plus 2,400, plus 450, top 5. I'm covered.
Now, Bert, did you do this legally on an app?
Of course.
Okay, let me give you a scenario years ago, okay? I went through Mr. Pickles, and I bet Tiger, this has had to be 10 years ago, I bet Tiger Woods to win his matchup for the day, which he did win.
Okay.
He won. He won the match. Like, let's say he went up against somebody and he won, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the money went into the account. Well, if you remember this, you remember when Tiger picked up his ball?
I don't. Well, I don't. There's too much Tiger stuff, but yeah.
10 years ago, he picked up a ball illegally, and when he signed his scorecard, it's basically you can't do that. So they took a stroke away, and the stroke cost me my bet. Now, if I was in Vegas with a ticket, I would have went to the window and they would have paid me out. Because I was online.
After he signed his scorecard?
Yes.
After he signed the scorecard?
Correct. So,
yes.
So because I bet online,
they
took it back and made it a negative bet. And I thought it was very, very smelly at the time. But it is the rule, though.
Dude, hey, Joe, I'm just getting into this online betting. I just do it for a little skin in the game, you know. But this was like, oh, my God. Hey, look, I'm glad you can relate. It was smelly.
Very, very smelly. Thanks, Bert. Appreciate you. We should just do a segment called Smelly.
It's smelly?
No. You play it one more time? We just want to hear it.
It's smelly?
No.
No, Joe, it's a bad beat. No, we're saying the same thing here, Bert. It's kind of all under.
Did he just throw it in? Did he like? Hey, I'm already in the money. I don't need that million.
What's that old Buffalo Wild Wings commercial where the guy's like flipping switches and hitting buttons to make the sprinklers pop out?
Pulling levers.
It's like a Space Jam moving the 18th hole so Michael Jordan gets that hole in one.
Listen, what was Anthony Ant-Man? Sorry, Ant-Man. I haven't even gotten into this one yet. I would like
from the other
see.
evening.
This is something I'd like to say for Skaz because Skaz and I like Anthony Edwards. Don't get me wrong, but I think he has bad games and doesn't get ridiculed like some others. Now, if you want to ridicule him for last night, you should. But here's the deal: people will tell you that Tatum's soft. But Ant-Man, he had a bad night, but he's not soft.
It's like the benefit of playing in Minneapolis. You don't get as many eyes.
Well, it's not even that. It's one plays hard, the other's soft and not an alpha. Like I hate that. But I will say this: last night, there have been games where him, Randall, some of these guys, like he was. And don't get me wrong, Game 3 they were unbelievable. They were unstoppable. They won by 40 points.
Throw that one out.
Won by 40 points. Like. This face of the league thing, everyone's got a take on it, and it's like, no, because they're not family men, like they can't be like faces of the league.
Oh, this is Kendrick Perkins thing.
Oh, God, that guy's got bad. You know what? Perk, I'd want you on my show. You know why? Because, man, you got a take all the time. Whether it's good or bad, you got one, man. That's the one thing I respect about him. Now, it's not always right. It's not always good. Like, remember when he called Missoula a bird brain?
I don't think he so much said that he was a bird brain. I think he said if you put Joe Missoula's brain in a bird, the bird would fly backwards. Is what he said about it.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
That's what he said. That wasn't an insult to the bird. It was an insult to Joe Missoula's brain.
Well, what about the bird?
Well, I mean, that bird probably would have been flying where it was going to go, but then it had a brain transfusion and got Joe Missoula's brain and is now flying backwards. It's going to the North Pole for the summer.
Now my brain is going south. Because we got the music's coming up next. But first, this hour of the sports was brought to you by Kesha's Law. At Kesha's, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does this sound like you? Visit keshaslaw.com. I'm Joe Murray. Music's next. It's smelly.
What is it? What?
It's smelly.
It's smelly?
No, that's smelly. It is smelly.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
A 101-91 lead over New York. Tyrese Halliburton 2 rebounds away from a triple-double. He's got 28 points, 14 assists, and 8 rebounds. NHL playoffs. Edmonton has a 2-1 lead right now over Dallas. They also lead the series 2-1. And the Red Sox are holding a 1-0 lead, top of the 9th inning. Their run scored on a passed ball. Richard Fitz got the start. The bullpen has gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 innings of scoreless one-hit ball with 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts. Can they hold the lead? Can they? I don't know. We'll find out. That's why we'll hear. Hey, this hour of the sports is brought to you. Well, hey, the headline, is brought to you by Kesha's Law. At Kesha's, they specialize in helping those who have been injured not only from a one-time incident, but from a lifetime of hard work and labor. Does that sound like you? Visit KeshasLaw.com. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side. There's a separation. Yes. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dime from Drake Maye.
98.5, the Sports Hub.
Quick, smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
In the world unrelated to sports, so sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
This is Murray's Music. It's 98.5, the Sports Hub. Ryan, this is I believe, the second longest running segment in 98.5, the Sports Hub. I think the final word is the longest.
I was going to say, is headlines the longest?
Oh, well, the final word, I think, is. But that was one day I was complaining, and Mark Feldman was here, Hip Hop Mark, if you remember him. And he one day he goes, "What's your favorite song?" I go, "Today Was a Good Day, Ice Cube." And then he just did that rap, and bing, bang, boom. Now we're still here. Oh, you let the bed ride, baby. Let it ride. That's what we do here. It's musings. So, Memorial Day weekend, I had a staycation. It was great. But you know what I wanted to do this weekend? I wanted to do some yard work. So I went out there. I got some toys. I got a weed whacker.
Is that why you wanted to?
You know what?
Not like the benefits of being outside, touching grass.
I hate manual labor.
Okay.
Out. But I really I've been watching, you know what it is I've been doom scrolling, and I've been watching TikTok videos about how to improve your house easily. And I've been like, wow, it's so easy. So yes, I watched some TikTok videos of how to use my weed whacker better. And because that
guy trimmed his hedges. Oh my God. Look at the resale. You get the resale values through the roof.
Yeah, but dude, this is okay. So long story short, I did an awesome job to the front yard. Like, looks great. The backyard though. This is something I feel like should be there should be a podcast about this. Leaves.
The plural. So it wasn't just a single leaf. There was more than one.
So
many leafuses.
I mowed the lawn. I did everything. I did it.
Front yard
was immaculate.
Well, that's the stuff everybody sees.
Yeah.
It has
the backyard though.
That's the stuff. Only,
there was a lot of wet leaves, wet ones. And so after doing what I had to do, I realized this is a project, bro. So someday, I don't know when, I'm going to get a shovel and a rake. And I'm just going to go out there and have at it. But, the leaf blower just doesn't do the justice to the wet leaves.
And that's an odd one. Because there's never a time I hear more leaf blowers in my neighborhood than right after it's rained. And I've always had the same thought. I feel like that would be so much harder to get rid of all those leaves when they're wet. So I feel like I am also missing out on, like, how do people make it work for them?
So what I would do next time for all the people who are going to do this, rake first. Rake first.
Before it rains.
No, rake before mow.
Rake before mow.
And weed whack. Rake it all up into piles. Rake it all, baby. Then get the weed whacker and whack the hell out of it. Then you get the lawnmower. Then you get the leaf blower and blow everything. I went mow, blow, non-rake.
You can't go mow before you go blow. By the way, these are leaves that are these are fall leaves. So
the fall leaves still going.
Leaves that have been the snow has covered them.
Yeah.
I mean, these are
these are some heavy leaves.
7 months. These leaves will not go away.
Yeah. So my suggestion, rake first. And there's your home tips from Joe Murray. What else?
Were you just be like, screw it. Nobody's coming to the backyard anyway.
No. You know what I realized? Most of the problems in my life are my own, Ryan. That's when I got video games as a kid, sure. I didn't read how to play the video game. I played the game.
And you had so much success playing all those games.
If we had I get instructions on how to make a desk. I ain't reading those things. Ain't. You hear me say that? Ain't. No, I'm not like this man. Hey, you're a man, a typical man. No, you can figure it out, right? Like I just got a dolly recently, and I was wondering, do I put the wheels that move on the front or the back? And there was no instructions. And in my head, I'm like, well, the wheels should go on the front that move, the ones that tilt.
Yeah.
But no, when I watched the video, they're all on the back. So I put them on the back, but now I'm wondering if I should put them on the front. I know.
Do you just have a box of extra screws and wires? This was left over from the desk.
They sent the extra screws because they knew. By the way, that's why IKEA, they're very cheap, and I can get a nice little Swedish meatball from there.
Sure.
But man, I hate making that.
Well, they say you reap what you sow, but in your case, you reap what you mow.
You reap what you mow and you blow. Do you know that you can pay people to? You can buy those and then pay people to make them. I think there's an app. No, not the meatballs.
Okay.
The IKEA stuff. Trey, you ever been to IKEA? There you go. See, he knows. When you buy something, you have to make it, right? You have to put it together. It's a pain in the ass. Sucks. But I think it's called Workable or something to that degree where you can pay people to come.
Oh, yeah. They're the odd jobs kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of those.
Hey, I got a neighbor that does that for me.
Do you got to go through the process?
I text Carlos and I say, hey, dude, can you come over and help me?
You can review.
And he's like, yeah, he helped me put my TV in. I had to put it on a mount and he mounted it for me.
That's dangerous. If you don't know what you're doing.
I helped him. Well, that's why I paid him.
Somebody with more experience, who's more handy, who could probably find the stud in the wall and wouldn't just put the mount directly into the drywall like I've seen other people do.
Correct.
You bring that guy in.
So last week was the Weenie 500. For those that don't know, it was the Oscar Mayer Wiener Mobile race that went around 2 laps. And it was great. I live streamed it. It was fun. It was the first time in history. It was fantastic. Well, that was Memorial Day weekend. Now we're heading towards July 4th, right? Well, Joey Chestnut has been Mr. July 4th. He is Mr. Independence Day.
Nathan's famous.
He is Nathan's famous. Well, guess what? Joey Chestnut explains why he won't be at the Nathan's hot dog eating contest this year. It's a bummer. I love that contest. He's a 16-time champion. It's no John Cena. But an interview with The Blast, Chestnut said that he remains unclear about his relationship with the MLE and the Nathans. And that at this moment, he has not been invited to take part in the 2025 competition. Now, this is something you have to prepare for. If you haven't been invited by Memorial Day, you're out.
Also, you got to know how many hot dogs are we ordering. I feel like the number would fluctuate greatly if Joey Chestnuts was in attendance.
Oh, that's
versus
true.
Not being in attendance.
He could be a 70 different hot dog.
You don't want to show up to that and go, we don't have enough hot dogs.
Yeah.
That would be embarrassing.
Here's my thing. Why would I watch if he's not there? If Jaws isn't there, you can bet on this, by the way.
Oh, I have absolutely bet.
Dude, this is like one of the only things we did.
I look for unders in the hot dog eating contest.
Lifshats and I did 2 hours on the hot dog eating contest one day. And we had the women's, we won the women's, the men's, we had the overs and all of them.
I'm tailing you guys this 4th of July.
Oh, but now it's a wide open field. There's a guy from the area.
Teacher guy.
I've interviewed. Yeah, him. Yeah. I've interviewed him.
I'm sorry, I don't know his name.
He has the Hooters record for most wings eaten, or 8. Man, my grammar's this is easy. I didn't barely went to college, Trey. He doesn't know where the relationship is with the Nathans, and I think that's crap. He should be Mr. Nathan. He should have a Nathan shirt. He should have Nathan's money.
Jeffrey Esper.
Jeff Esper. I've interviewed him here before. He's a good dude. He's from around here. I forget what town. Somewhere in the...
Oxford.
Oxford. Anyways. Did you know that Joey Chestnut consumed over 36 24-ounce bags of popcorn in just 8 minutes on Memorial Day?
I probably do, because I have definitely spent some time going through the Major League eating records as far as who holds what. And yes, Joey Chestnut's my guy, Badland Booker. Also likes to hold it down in various normally he's a liquids guy. He's like 100 gallons of lemonade in a certain amount of time. But
dude,
he does liquids very, very well.
Do you know my I don't know if you know this, but my favorite drink is an Arnold Palmer. Now I prefer my iced tea to be non-sweet with my lemonade.
You like it a little more.
I like the
like a bitter
less sugar. Okay. More lemonade, less sugar. So when I went to Vegas for WrestleMania, they had an Arnold Palmer stand. So half was iced tea, half was lemonade. And I was doing both. And there were people from the UK, people from other states that had no clue what an Arnold Palmer was. And I was like literally showing people that they were like, this is amazing, man.
They're not, the food game over there is not stellar.
Yeah.
They're like their hot dogs in a jar. That's like a snack food. It is.
Hot dogs in a jar?
Yeah, they like to eat that over in London. Yeah, the music back.
Well, anyways, he's not going to be there. And that upsets me. And I feel like if they haven't spoken to him by now, he's not doing it.
I mean, there's going to be a time where, like, he's probably better off, like, not doing it anymore.
Hey, you know what else? The guy who won last year, Patrick Bertatoli,
yes,
he only ate 58 hot dogs. Joey's doing 76 to 80. Jaws is a 70 to 76 guy. Yet this guy's shorting him.
Less hot dogs.
There's 20 less hot dogs. It's a big deal. Anyways, birthdays today. What's today? May 27th? Happy birthday to Richard Schiff. He is 70 years old today. He was in The Man of Steel. Paul Bettany, 54. Jake McBrayer, isn't he the guy from was he in what's that, Joe's Gym with Vince Vaughn there? Whatever. Andre 3000 turned 50 years old today. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Chris Colfer is 35 years old today. Who? Model Lily Rose Depp. Is that Johnny Depp's relation?
It has to be.
Okay. Let's see what else we have today, because I'm pretty sure there should be some more famous birthdays. I saw a few already today.
That's the daughter of Johnny Depp and Vanessa Paradis. Paradis. She's French, I'm guessing.
Happy birthday to Lisa Left Eye Lopez. No longer with. I already mentioned him.
We were wishing happy birthday to people who are no longer with us.
Yes, we are. Happy birthday to Natty Neidhart of WWE. Her and I are the same age. I've met her. Great person.
Is that Jim the Anvil's
daughter?
Kid? Wow.
Yeah. Beautiful woman. Great wrestler.
They let the gals wrestle now. I think that's pretty neat.
She can fight.
It was very, what was the term they used? TNA back in the day? Like eye candy? Like, no, they
Divas.
They let them go now.
Jada Kiss, 50 years old today. Birthday is Wiki. You just search May 27th birthdays, they'll tell you who was born that day.
It's like some Swiss philosopher was born in 1620 that nobody knows.
Out. No, we want the goodies.
We want the good burger. We want the Left Eye Lopez.
Did you say Good Burger? Home of the Good Burger?
Can I take your order?
Which was a great show, by the way. How old are you, Ryan?
35.
Oh, man.
I'm a year older than Deadlift Shats.
That's right. We've
which I'm still out on. I have not changed my mind.
Can't figure out to this day. Well, anyways, that's all I got for birthdays. Eric Carlson. No. Greg Allman. That's not the Greg Allman I know. Oh, he died on this date last year. Okay, that's it. Now we're getting into deaths.
We're taking a dark turn for birthdays.
We'll go to break. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Zone. that's how I look at it.
I do that. When I saw Jerry Cantrell had a new song out, you are the first person I thought
That's
of.
right. I appreciate that. You brought that up to me earlier.
Yes.
But the thing is, what I really love is I love dual singers. I love harmony. Like, I like that. Like, to give you an example, I always loved the Red Hot Chili Peppers because Anthony Kiedis would sing, but Flea...
John Frusciante also.
But the Fleas, like, all that stuff was, like, perfect. But if I really date it back, I loved Pink Floyd's one of my favorite bands. But I loved the David Gilmour, Roger Waters effect. Like, the two singers, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Lane Staley, Jerry Cantrell, I loved.
And their harmony is very distinguishable, too.
Oh, yeah.
They sing in, like, fourths and sometimes fifths, which is not always, like, if I can music nerd for a second, it's not always the easiest to write harmonies like that because it sounds so weird. But because those guys did it for as long as they did and became, like, mainstream popular, like, it really helped, like, other musicians kind of write stuff and not make it sound like everything else. So they really have a very distinct harmony style.
Yeah, I'll give you two songs, No Excuses and Heaven Beside You. They both sang the line. It's just two different vocals that at times you might not be able to tell which one's which I really loved. So anyways, that's what I like. I like band. You know who? Speaking of bands with two singers, I always loved Blink-182 because of Mark, you know, and Tom DeLonge. Like, I liked the fact that you can get the email, here's your holiday with the hoo-doo-doo-doo-doo. You know, but Jerry was the same way. Like, Jerry could sing Got Me Wrong, or, you know what I mean, like Haven't Felt. Like, you know, like, you can get that out of it with a little bit of a scream, you know.
I give you one more. Two-singer 90s and 2000s System of a Down.
Oh yeah,
Serge
and
Darren Malakian.
Yep. Was that Aliens that they had two? All the world that's been before me passing by. Yeah. I don't know. No, Aerials. No,
that you know, Kevin, how I
yes,
feel.
That song.
I can't think of the name of the song.
Did Tom DeLonge find the aliens? I'm not sure. I hope I didn't lose anybody, but I love to. By the way, Fleetwood Mac, I don't know how many singers they had. I still think about it to this day, right? Because, like, there was Lindsay, Christine, Stevie, whose birthday I believe was yesterday, or today. I can't remember. That was the birthday I was thinking of. That was a big one. It was yesterday. But, like, how many singers really did Fleetwood Mac have? How many singers did Chicago have? How many?
A lot.
You know what I mean? But I love that about bands.
Like the coldest winter chill, heaven beside you, hell within.
So it's Jerry doing the Hell Within. And just so you know, this song's actually about Lane.
Really? I say real, like, of course you would know what this is about.
This song is about Lane not pulling his weight. I heard he might have needed dentures for the video. But he wore like an Undertaker hat, like from wrestling. No, the dentures I think was more MTV Unplugged, but he also did a remember the Faculty movie?
Yes.
They did a We Don't Need No Education with Tom Morello as
like a Pink Floyd.
Yeah, dude, look that bad boy up. And but yeah, it was from the Faculty soundtrack. Lane also, I think, needed dentures for that one because that one was not. That was a good pull you just had. That's what I mean by the harmony, the dual harmony.
I've spent plenty of time listening to some of these singers. Just technology is really cool, man, and you can find software that'll just make a perfect isolated vocal. And I'll go and I'll just listen to stuff and go, "Oh my god, this is incredible." And Alice in Chains is one of those bands.
But the Unplugged album from Alice, if you listen to the Unplugged, nobody knew if Lane was going to show up. So Jerry went out there. They started with Nutshell. They both sang that. They went right into Brother, went right into, I believe, No Excuses next. And you could tell the harmonies. And then they did a couple like Junkhead and Sludge Factory. And, you know.
MTV had a good run of those Unplugged.
So, in my opinion, the Alice in Chains was, I'm biased.
Yes.
The Nirvana one was incredible.
Nirvana, there are songs, just a quick anecdote. I was coming out of a Celtics game years ago, and the only CD I had in my car was that Unplugged album. I must have listened to it trying to get out of the parking garage 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, that it was bad traffic, but some of the stuff that they did on that Nirvana was really good. Korn is the other one I think of. The Korn Unplugged.
Oh, Korn Unplugged.
Korn Unplugged is really good.
I liked
there are
Pearl Jam.
versions of Korn Unplugged that I like. I think their version of Love Song Unplugged is way better than the produced one.
You know who else I really liked? Stained, and I know some people might be like they were played out and whatever, but I thought they had a run where they were very good.
Stained, I like Stained. I actually saw the beginning of a documentary where it was some songwriting process, and Aaron Lewis was having a day, and I had to stop watching it because I'm like, I want to still like you guys, and if I watch this, I'm not going to like you.
He
guys.
also wrote a song called Lane. And so the song
that was I mentioned Cold earlier. Cold had a song called "The Day Seattle Died." Like there was a whole verse about Lane. There was a whole verse.
Yeah,
about Kurt
the
Cobain.
name of the song was Lane, and he did it all with the voice, like did it all like that and everything. And what do you call that? A twang? Like what is that called?
It's kind of twang is I think if you just stripped it down, I think it's kind of.
And for all the people who have
like a collective soul through the toilet paper tube. That kind of twang?
Yes, exactly. The toilet paper roll?
That's how he did it.
Oh, I thought people just did that at college to not get the weed smoke.
No, that's called a groove tube.
That's called a groove tube. We called it well, I don't know. We called it another name.
I called it a groove tube. But no, that guy from
Groove
Collective
Tube?
Soul. Yeah, the guy from Collective Soul was talking to Rick Beato, who's a music producer.
Yeah.
And he said that's what I did. I just took up a toilet paper roll and I just talked into it, and that's how he had effects.
If you don't have a good I'm out. Like Kurt Cobain had a good Metallica's got a good I'm sure.
Metallica's like, there was this phase there where they were nothing but
I mean, Nirvana has a song that just goes, and Lane, Doop, yeah. Doop. Anyways, did we just do Murray's music and musings back to back and yard work?
We kind of did. So we talked yard work. We talked harmonies and Jerry Cantrell's new stuff, and Mike Borden still looks great. And we're trying to define what a twang
Can I give
is.
you one more collaboration? It's called Damage Plan. It's Jerry with the original members of Dimebag was on the drums at the time. Sorry, Vinnie Paul. Oh my God, Vinnie Paul was on the drums. My bad. Sad news. I know. Pantera.
Yes.
And then Ensemble there. What's his name there? Vince.
Oh, Phil Ensemble.
Phil Ensemble. Why do I call him Vince? Anyways, I know I'm losing my mind right now, but there's
Cowboys from Hell.
Great.
That was so good.
Great little collab. Those guys. Jerry's been in some really good collabs. He did a Metallica Tuesday's Gone once.
You stuck around for the Damage Plan collaboration. Did you stick around for the Hell Yeah collaboration? Because a couple guys from Damage Plan did that.
Oh, wow.
It was very missable. That was Chad Gray from Mudvayne. Vinnie Paul was the drummer. Greg Tribbett, who was also the guitar player from Mudvayne, and I think tried out for Damage Plan. Bob Zilla and somebody else. But it was like a half metal, half Budweiser commercial kind of sound that was really popular for like one summer.
Well, for the people that got upset that I mentioned he used dentures, it was because he grinded his teeth away from doing drugs.
Kind of needed
Let the sun never blind your eyes. Let me sleep so my teeth won't grind was one of the lyrics. Anyways, Prince Humperdinck checking in. Who also mentioned that he has dentures, wanted to let me know that he made burgers with ground turkey patties and the buns, diced string cheese, seasoning, lettuce, and ketchup for middle.
In or out on turkey burgers.
Then he put ham in. So a burger with ham, I would just subtract the lettuce. What does it make? What do you feel like it's too fat? Is that why you need the lettuce?
No, you got a thing with lettuce though.
No, but does it give you taste?
It gives you texture.
Do you need it?
I don't need it.
Do you need it?
Do I need it? No.
Okay, then.
But if it's there, yeah, I'll eat it.
Trey, do you like lettuce?
Thumbs up. It's like you're the only person I met that like dislikes lettuce. I think people are, for the most part, very ambivalent on it. Like, kind of I am. Like, if it's there, cool. If it's not, whatever.
I would bowl with a lettuce head if I could. I just
You'd have you would never knock down a single pin, candle pin or otherwise.
Do you know what else? The thing is with lettuce is that I can't eat it because I physically can't eat it, but then I hate everything about it because I can't eat it. So it's like I don't like it. I don't like it to begin with. Then I hate it because it's on everything.
But it's like you always have to talk yourself into. It's like you're not going to be a part of my life, and I'm going to make sure every time I see you, my blood boils.
Yeah, like I want you to know
work yourself into
that if there's lettuce involved, I'm out. I'm out. If there's a taco party and all the tacos have lettuce, I'm not partying.
I had a chicken Caesar wrap for dinner 2 nights ago. So good. It was so good.
But guess what?
But you know what? You need it. You need lettuce in there.
So do you understand why I'm mad?
Yeah.
Because I can't have it. I've tried. I want to eat lettuce. I want to. I can't.
Do you like a spinach, maybe?
I'm not saying spinach. I love. But here's the deal: I won't eat it raw. I'll eat it cooked or in a steam.
Mow it and blow it. That's how we do our spinach.
Nice little cream spinach, maybe. I know we did a lot of mowing, blowing, and raking in this segment, huh? This was where I was going to talk about the Bruins' new coach. Who they've been mowing, blowing, and raking.
That whole scenario.
It's smelly.
No.
Very.
Oh, really?
So much.
3 finalists. Marco Sturm, with the Sturm count. Mitch Love, who has been a pretty good defensive coach with Washington. And Jay Woodcroft, who was the former Edmonton coach who got fired. And then they went to the Stanley Cup Final.
So Mark Savard was the sexy name that was attached to the Bruins. That doesn't sound like that's happening.
That's what I heard. So I will say this. Marco Sturm, if I took his name out because he's part of the Joe Thornton trade, which I'm out, he's done a really good job as a coach. And he really is, Olympic-wise, he did a ton for Germany and et cetera. Mitch Love is this defensive-minded coach, right? Was that what the Bruins want to do? They want to be they're loaded on defense. Let's face it, and goaltending as far as salary goes, too. So they might need to double down on that, but is the NHL an offensive league now, or is it more of a pack it in? Because the goalie isn't playing all the games anymore. Because the Bruins, let's be fair, their identity was 2 goaltenders in defense. They won a Stanley Cup doing that, packing it in. Is that the way to go in today's NHL?
Well, just looking at how things really, they had already fallen apart, but there were stretches there. There were games that I personally worked, and there were games that I watched where you would check what the stats were after one period, and you go, oh, okay, opposing goaltenders stopped, 11 of 11 shots. Jeremy Swayman stopped 11 of 11 shots, and you look at the other guy, and the other guy had not seen a single shot. I think probably you want more offense based on this team's inability to pressure goaltenders. And like I said, they were probably already done to begin with, but you can't get one shot. You can't get a qualified shot on net in a National Hockey League game. That's very troubling.
You're right. I think they do need some sort of offensive mindset. I agree. I thought the Patriots should have done that too, but we'll talk about that.
They need to
weaponize. Sorry, I don't know why. I just was that rage?
Sub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, Red Sox in the bottom of the 10th inning of the bases loaded they're on the mound. They're playing defense, bottom of the 10th. It's not good.
Nobody out.
It's not good.
We're going to have a final here very soon.
So I'll save the reaction shortly. Or will I? NBA final right now. Eastern Conference Finals. Pacers are up. It's getting interesting, though, and a lot of flopping going on. 122, 114, 140 foot to go in that one. And in the NHL, it's 2-1 Oilers, 2:35 to go in the third period. Headlines, they are brought to you by Premier Basement Waterproofing, finding water in your basement from last week's nor'easter. Time to get it waterproof so you don't have to worry again. Call our guys at Premier 844 Live Drive, premierbasement.net. It's game over for water. I'm Joe Murray. Another segment to go.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
post game. Oh man, this guy's got it right now. We don't need to play it. This is the first time the Red Sox have been 3 games under 500 since March 31st. The one run that they scored tonight, guys, was on a passed ball.
Like you did. I mean, I guess you got to pay attention a little bit and you got to, beat the relay or whatever, but it's like the bare minimum to get a single run on the board.
Okay.
It shouldn't be this hard to score runs in baseball.
Earlier today, my opening take was, don't invest your energy into the Red Sox. Like, if Matt McCarthy was here right now, or Tyler Milliken or anybody, they were here right now, think of the energy that they would put into their take right now.
It would be smoldering.
Think of the energy. Do you know what I mean by
like
the energy?
Lightning striking a volcano would be what that studio is.
Don't put your energy into this team. And listen, I know they're all looking ahead to the future. Wow, what a horrible shot by Josh Hart. The Pacers just won. The Red Sox lost, and I believe the Oilers just won 4-1. all the last segment.
Headlines part 2.
Hey guys, see you later, man. That's the night. Don't invest your energy in the Red Sox. They don't take it seriously. But this is the one. I do not think Roman Anthony can save the Red Sox from themselves. Remember what I said there. Save the Red Sox from themselves.
Do you think that's how they look at it? Not so like dire, but they're like, we need, not like, okay, Roman Anthony can't do anything else at this level. He is ready versus, oh my God, we're taking on water. This is bad. It's only going to get worse. We need the bright, shiny object up here quickly.
Ryan, it's inexcusable to sit here and say that the best bat in the system can't help them out right now. So to your point, I wonder if they're worried about that. I said this earlier. What if he can't be the guy who helps? What if they have Campbell, Mayer, and Anthony up here, and they're still under 500 losing games?
Christian Campbell had a nice start to the season and has been dog water.
But it's growing pains.
But no, and I'm not
just
saying...
Just Ron Rafaela's growing pains.
Please don't misunderstand.
Like Will Abreu had an awesome start. Growing pains.
It's going to happen, and I think... I brought this up when we were talking about Red Sox to start the show. The idea of, okay, people want it both ways. They want a team that's going to be really competitive in your Boston Red Sox and play meaningful games in October, but then also have these young prospects that Sox fans have been hearing about for years now. I don't think the two mesh. I don't think that you can have a great team with all these rookies in your lineup. Again, Marcelo Mayer's playing really well now. I wouldn't be shocked at all if he ended up having a slump very similar to what Christian Campbell's doing. And if Roman Anthony comes up, oh boy, Roman Anthony comes up and he looks really great to start, but then he falls into the same rut that these two kids are going to, because that's what happens when you get called up. People will lose their minds unless you're following the Joe Murray and you're not putting that energy. I
don't know if this is really two-parted here. There's no excuse for Roman Anthony not to be on the roster. At the same time, is that what's best for the Red Sox? Like, they're a middling team who just blew through the bullpen tonight. Blew right through it. And they couldn't manufacture a run besides a pass ball. So, I still think that all these rookies, and we just saw it with Baltimore, with Rauschman and all these guys that were coming up in the system, they're going to be the saviors, and Baltimore is going to be the best. They're in last place, and they fired their coach. The Red Sox are banking on these young prospects to save them. I don't think the Red Sox can save... I don't think anybody can save the Red Sox from themselves. And I'm really starting to think it is out... Forget about thinking it's Alex Cora. When are they?
And I know a lot of people at this station are gung-ho about it. I'm not there yet. But then the next obvious move to make, because this is what happens with managers, is they get fired. Alex Cora is making a ton of money to manage this team, and I think they do like him a lot. After all the trash can stuff, they waited for him. They wanted him to come back. The
focus isn't winning.
But
he's managing everything else but the game.
I don't know. And look, it's early. I get not early, but there's still time to fix this.
Yeah, but you struck out 10 times tonight. You went 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. You left 8 men on base. It's inexcusable.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to. I was on the other side. It was like, 86.5 wins? Under. I was on the under before the season started. I did not understand the mishmash of pieces. I just think that if they're going to do anything to try and start, they got the Yankees. They got Yankees in Tampa. Like, the division could be definitely over. They're running out of moves to make that are going to bolster what this team could be.
Don't invest your energy. I'm telling you right now. Tomorrow, I know they're going to fire up Milliken, right? They're going to fire him up. I just wouldn't. Don't do it. And the whole Roman Anthony thing, it is inexcusable. He's not here. It's inexcusable. The top player in the damn system can't help out. But at the same time, he ain't going to be the savior. I'm sorry. Say, is this an Alex Rodriguez coming through the door here?
No,
right?
He's probably like, hey, you know what? Like, it's actually, Worcester's not that bad.
Yeah, Worcester, hey, the Boynton.
Hills.
The Worcester Hills.
I'm not
the heart of the Commonwealth.
It's nice here.
All right. Well, one other note. Tyrese Halliburton had a triple-double. He's the first in NBA history to have 0. What's TOV? Is that turnovers?
I would guess it's turnovers.
Wow. TOV.
It's got no TOVs.
All right, well, this hour of the sports is brought to you by Valvoline Incident. Actually, brought to you by Awaken 180 Golden Program. Awaken 180's medication-free, fast weight loss solution for those over 60. Awaken180weightloss.com. Great job tonight, Ryan Garvin. And
it was a pleasure.
Yeah, this was a bullpen. You got called to the bullpen early.
I'm the Liam Hendricks of the Sports Hub.
Trey, great.
I'm the Brennan Bernardino of the Sports Hub.
Trey is first day. He'll be back on Thursday. He'll be with us Tuesday and Thursdays. Nice job to him. Thank you for all your help. We got to get out of here, guys. We got a Revs game tomorrow, but we'll be on at 7 o'clock as well. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Whoa. A crack in my windshield.